It has been a busy summer down on the south coast of England. We have brought in a whole bunch of new players. We've sold a whole load of players as well. There's no spoilers on the screen apart from one new name that you can probably spot in the middle of the screen, but if you were here last season, you might have known that one anyway. Overall, about 7 first-team-ish players left over the summer. The biggest one was Peter Olayinka, who we obviously signed last season. He scored a hat-trick against Bournemouth, and that was about it. We've sold him to FC Nantes for £7.5 million, so we've technically made a profit, which is actually something that the board wanted us to do. We've also shifted on Stuart Armstrong for £4.8 million, which in real life is a terrible bit of business. Jan Bednarek has also left the club after his loan spell at Aston Villa, signing for Monaco for about £5 million. Moussa Djenepo has gone over to Belgium for £1.5 million. And Matthias Liss and Alex McCarthy have also both left the club. Liss for about £500,000, McCarthy for pennies, like 50k. Joining the club then, we're going to talk about 9 players that have joined the club. I think there's actually 14 or so. Odilian Kasunu. He has joined from Bayer over in Germany. He's not cost a massive amount of money, £8 million, considering Bayer paid $19 million for him. I think this is a very good signing. Only 22 years of age. Ivory Coast International as well. 6'3" with 17 jumping reach. This is a very Southampton signing. We've also picked up Dujon Sterling on a free transfer after he was released by Chelsea, I think he was released by. Yeah, so he spent the season out on loan playing for Stoke and also a season before that playing for Blackpool. So he's got championship experience. He's still only 23 years of age, will be 24 soon. He's not going to be playing a lot of football for us, but he gives us another option who can play in multiple positions. Signed from recently relegated Nottingham Forest, Ryan Yates has cost us £6 million, which is arguably a little bit steep for a backup player. He is going to be the backup to James Ward-Prowse. And I know what you're thinking, he's nothing like him, and you're right. But he's going to be playing in that role when Ward-Prowse is unavailable, unfit, sent off, that kind of thing. Rafa Marin is a 21-year-old Spanish centre-back signed from Real Madrid. He was released on a free. We picked him up. I think there's some potential there. Probably won't see a huge amount of him. Gianluca Frabotta is a 24-year-old Italian left-back, formerly of Juve. I think that's where we've technically signed him from. Previously as well at Verona and Frosinone, could be the name, I'm not quite sure. He's cost us £1.2 million. He's not going to get any better than what he currently is, but he gives us another option in that left-back position. Ishaku Abdul Fatawu is next up, signed from Sporting, played previously in his native Ghana for Dreams FC, Steadfast FC as well. He's currently out on loan at Oxford in League One, which I think is probably a bit too low for his ability. He's not cost a huge amount, £1.2 million, I think £2 million potentially, apparently. Yeah, he's gone out on loan, playing for Oxford, going to get a season under his belt. I think he's a very good footballer. 15 free kicks might be giving James Ward-Prowse a bit of a run for his money at some point. Marco Livaja is next up, and he is one of our main signings. We've arguably got 3 main signings. Livaja is one of them. He is our new number 1 striker. He had a superb season in game and in real life, apparently, the previous season. 24 goals last season in game, 28 the previous season in real life. So he's a good signing, signed from Hajduk, costing £8 million, potentially going up to 10.5, which is steep for a 30-year-old, but he's good, isn't he? He's got all you want from a finisher, from a natural finisher, and that's why we've brought him in. We want goals. So far in 2 matches, he's got none. Next up is Brian Brobby, signed from Ajax, formerly apparently of Leipzig as well, had a bit of a loan spell there. Spent £12 million on him, which is actually, I mean, that's a good bit of business, right? That's a decent player, playing on that left-hand side. He is going to be ahead of Adam Armstrong, because Armstrong, as we saw from last season, he gets in the positions but doesn't score the goals. I'm hoping Brobby can get in the positions and actually do something there. And finally, Youssoufa Moukoko, signed on loan from Borussia Dortmund. So, this was a deadline day deal. He was loan listed. They've not really played him at all. We're not paying a lot of money for him in the grand scheme of things. £850,000. He's going to potentially cost us $50 million if we want to sign him. Let's face it, we probably don't want to sign him for £50 million. It's too much money. But to have Moukoko for a season on loan, and it's costing us like £1.2 million, I think, in total. Something stupid like that. It's not a lot of money. And I just could not pass up on this deal. And it means Livaja might not actually be our lead striker for the season. So far, Moukoko has yet to play because, like I said, signed on deadline day. He will be getting his debut against Aston Villa later on in today's episode. That's not all the transfers. We've also got some youngsters brought in from various clubs around the Premier League. Henry Cartwright, Jaden Williams, Tino Kwamina and Brandon Bryan Waugh could be his name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we did need to get somebody in with a double-barreled name. And also anyone else? Oh, Ethan Brierley as well from Rochdale. Let's have a quick look at him because he's cost some money. He's 19 years old and he's going to be a future James Ward-Prowse, I guess. And after all of that business, the window has closed. This is so far how the season has started. It's been very, very good. A 2-0 win against Everton, a 2-0 win against newly promoted Burnley, Lavia, Diallo, James Ward-Prowse and Mohamed Salisu all on the score sheet. It does mean that we are sat second in the table, but it's very early days. Also, you've probably spotted Europa League has been drawn. It's Augsburg, it's Dynamo, and it is Rapid Vienna. That is a difficult group. If you ask me, that is a very difficult group, but I think we should be good enough to get out of that group. And just to give you a quick rundown of the squad before we play our first match, but potentially our only match of the episode, I think, because I've waffled on quite a lot. This is our squad for the season. So 3 goalkeepers, Bycroft, Bazunu and Omlin. Omlin will be our number 1. It's Livramento and Walker-Peters as our right backs. 2 very good right backs. Perrault and Frabotta as our left backs. 2 very good left backs. Duja, Chileta Sarr, Saliso, Bella Kotchap and Kasunu as our centre-backs. Rafa Marin on the fringes, probably won't get too many games there. As the DLPs, Ward-Prowse and Yates, as mentioned, we've still got Onyeka, we've got Smallbone back. Thierry Small as a box-to-box midfielder, hear me out, it might work. Lavia and Diallo as the Carrilleros. Teller has returned from Burnley. He's going to be an inside forward on the right-hand side alongside Joe Aribo. On the left, Adam Armstrong, Dujon Sterling and Brian Brobby. And then Pookie, Lavaja, Sekumara, Shea Adams and Yusufa Mokoku are our striking options. We've got a pretty deep squad this season. Let's show off and beat Aston Villa and go top of the table, shall we? This is going to be our starting lineup then. It is going to be Omlin in goal, Walker-Peters, Chileta Sarr, Salisu and Perrault in defence, Ward-Prowse, Lavia and Onyeka in midfield, Aribo, Brobby and Yusufa Mokoku making his debut up front. He's arguably one of our worst strikers when it comes to star rating, but he is also Yusufa Mokoku, and he's good. He should be good at football. I will tell you now, since the last episode, since the end of the season, obviously I've put in face packs and things like that, you can see that, but also there has been an update to Football Manager, and I don't know what the changes are because it's not a full release, it's a beta. They don't need to announce and do sort of change lists and things like that, so they don't need to worry about that. So I have no idea what's going on. This might suddenly be the greatest result you've ever seen because they've broken something else, or we might get found out and lose 7-0. Well, good news, at half-time, it's not 9-0, it's 2-1, and you might be wondering why we are here at half-time and not seeing the start of the match. Well, basically, I was dropping frames all over the place, which means we're joining here at half-time. We've opened the scoring, Yusufa Mokoku with the goal, and a very good goal as well is what it was. Aribo with the long ball over the top, Mokoku on the end of it, first time shot from the youngster into the back of the net, 15 minutes into his debut. Then we doubled our lead thanks to Joe Aribo with this one. Brian Brobby collected it here, didn't have any support, plays it all the way to the back post. Aribo on the volley, left-footed, blasts it into the top corner. Villa then found themselves back into the game thanks to a long-range effort from Boubacar Kamara. But here we are at half-time, 2-1 to the good, and we're actually playing very well if you ask me. No changes at half-time for us, and the second half has gone fairly quickly. Well, the first 10 minutes have. Mokoku's on the end of the Walker-Peters effort, and Yusufa Mokoku makes it 3-1. The flag has gone up. We're going to get some VAR. It's being disallowed. How close was he? I feel like he was very close. Yes, he was very close. Fair enough. I mean, he was offside. Mokoku is looking like a very good signing. He's genuinely looking like a very good signing. In the first half, annoyingly, you didn't get to see it. He did have a couple of good chances. Probably could have been on a hat-trick at this point. Right, time for some changes. We don't have all of our new signings just yet because I feel like we need to try and break them in a bit more. We are going to go for Livramento coming on, and we're going to just put Walker-Peters as our left-back. Lavaja, do we bring Lavaja on? We do, and we're going to do it for Brobby. Any more changes? Ryan Yates for Ward-Prowse? I'm tempted to give Yates a run out. Admittedly, I did think that we were 3-1 up then. It's 2-1, isn't it? We probably shouldn't have randomly brought off James Ward-Prowse, the difference maker. Final 5 minutes of the game. Villa have the ball inside their own half. It's Tyrone Mings, the former Southampton youngster. I think he got released when he was like 10, so we can't really claim that one. Livaja, it's not Livaja, that's Livaja. Through ball to Mokoku, and his effort is easily held by Emi Martinez. That's another good chance that has fallen to Moukoko. If he keeps getting those every single game, he is going to be easily our top goal scorer this season. The full-time whistle goes at Villa Park. It's our 3rd win out of 3. We are probably top of the table at the moment. We are top of the table. It is only because we're the only team, us and Villa, that have played 3 games. But 100% starting record. Because of that absolutely shambolic performance, and by performance I mean my PC's performance, we're going to go forward and we're going to play the FC Augsburg game on camera as well. Our first Europa League group stage game away from home. It's probably not going to be particularly easy, but I think we should be good enough to win. Right, we have just finished playing the Crystal Palace game and we've not been FM'd. I'm not going to say we've been FM'd, but we should have won the game and we lost 1-0. Moukoko was not very good in this one, getting a 6.3. I imagine he probably had some of the 14 shots, and that is why his rating is pretty low. We were the better side throughout the entire game, and they annoyingly won it. And that result as well does mean that Crystal Palace leapfrog over us into 2nd place in the table. We were top after the 3rd round of fixtures. Man City, I believe, weren't playing. So that's why we stayed top after the Saturday or Sunday matches. And then Man City, obviously, they won their next 2 games, just about beating Man United 1-0. So they are on a 100% record. We haven't got that anymore. So match number 2 of the episode then. FC Augsburg from Germany in the Europa League with the fancy new Europa League graphics, which we're not going to hear the music because copyright and all that jazz. But just imagine, sing it in your head. What is the song for the Europa League? Doesn't matter. Anyway, in goal is going to be Jonas Omlin, Walker-Peters, Chileta, Sarr, Salisu and Perro in defence, Ward-Prowse, Lavia, Onyeka, Aribo, Brobby and Moukoko up front. I think this is unchanged from the match we saw on camera against Villa. We did a lot of changes for the Palace game, which clearly didn't work. So here we see the new Europa League graphics, and apparently no Saints fans decided to attend. Or is that stand just empty for some reason? It's great and all, it's nice and immersive, but it's a bit odd that it's only for sort of Europa League and things like that. It would be nice if you could do somehow, I know licensing's a problem, but do something like this for Premier League games. This looks fancy, doesn't it? This looks quite fancy with the 3D kits that I've downloaded and installed. And the big Europa League circle icon in the background with lots of people ready to go. 10 minutes played then in Germany, and so far we're having some shots. Not seeing many highlights. Walker-Peters with the throw. Lavia gets it back to Walker-Peters in towards Brobby, but he heads over the bar of the German keeper. I say German keeper, the German team's keeper. Elsewhere, Rapid Vienna have taken the lead against Dinamo, so they move to the top of the group. Augsburg do have the ball, though, coming forward down the right-hand side. Framberger with an injury to him, so that's probably a player who's going to get subbed off very soon. Moukokou's nicked this ball away, and surely he must score. And Youssoufa Moukoko does score his 2nd goal of the season. Moukoko is good. When he's on his game, he is very good. And I feel like most people know that. Free kick for Augsburg in a very good position towards Reece Oxford at the back post. And actually, it's Florian Niederlechner. Could be his name. It's 1-1. Walker-Peters with a throw for us. I mean, most highlights seem to start in that position for us. It's cleared, though, by Augsburg. Niederlechner with the ball. Lavia with a good slide to steal it off him. But then Walker-Peters just gives it back. What are we doing? That's just a weird bit of football so far. And now Onyeka tries to nick it and can't manage it. But Brobby threw a ball towards Moukoko and can't get anywhere near it. And Augsburg possibly going to start a counter-attack then. Down towards that left-hand side. Iago's going to go for a run. 2 players in front of him though. Backwards to Reece Oxford. Strobel loses out. Moukokou's got this ball from Lavia. Going to go for a run. The young 18-year-old German tries to place it in the bottom corner, but the keeper is too smart for that. Augsburg have had 1 shot on target and scored it. We've had 5, and we've scored 1 goal so far. This is going to be one of those days, isn't it? It's going to be one of those days like against Palace where we're having all the chances and not scoring the goals. Brobby needs to keep hold of that ball and does so. Onyeka had some interest from Bayern for Onyeka in the summer. Brobby controls that well, and Brian Brobby, with his first ever Saints goal, makes it 2-1 just before half-time. We've got about a minute to play of the first half, and we've taken the lead again. I have just seen that Moukoko, I think, has just been clattered by somebody. His fitness is pretty poor. We're going to keep him on for the moment. Salisu's playing very badly. I assume he's being blamed for the goal. Chileta Sarr also playing badly on a 6-4 now himself. Dinamo have turned it around against Rapid Vienna as well. They're now 2-1 to the good. Walker Peters. That's not Walker Peters. Why is that not Walker Peters? Why is that Joe Aribo? Anyway, it's Brobby collecting it. Forward ball. Mokoku goes running towards goal. Is he going to get his second? He doesn't get his second. He should have got his second. Our XG is starting to go through the roof, and I love it, and also hate the fact that it's only the XG that's going up and not the goals. Onyeka with it loses out, but it's picked up by Romain Perrault, who loses out and collects it anyway. Salisu on the halfway line, all the way back to our Swiss goalkeeper. Chaleta Sarr, right-hand side is Walker Peters. Lavia, Aribo's in front, does use him. Ball over the top once again. Mokoku controls it well, places it in the bottom corner. Youssoufa Moukoko is a superb signing. For the money that we paid for him, that's ridiculous. As much as he's on a hat-trick, I want to bring him off, because his condition is bad. We've got the lead now. We can do Livaja coming on. I want Livaja to score a goal. We're also going to have to take off Chaleta Sarr for Kasonu. We'll do that one. Do we bring on any children? We don't really have any children on the bench. I mean, we do. We've got Teller, who arguably is technically a child. We've also got Smallbone. Bella Kotchap's arguably a child. So's Livramento. We got lots of youngsters on the bench, but no, like, 16-year-olds. Dinamo now 3-1 up as well against Rapid Vienna, so they are joint top of the table at the moment with us. I imagine they're top on alphabetical order, I guess. Lavia with the ball to Walker Peters on the right-hand side. I want Livaja to score a goal. That's what I need. Down the line, Joe Aribo collects it in the penalty area. Cuts inside, goes for goal himself, the greedy bugger. He makes it 4-1, his fourth goal of the season. It looks like wingers are starting to perform, which is a problem that I had before the patch. I say before the patch. There was an update before this episode was recorded, and I don't know what it changed, but it seems to have changed our wingers a bit. I don't know how many subs we get in the Europa League, so we're going to go and do some more changes. We're going to do Bella Kotchap for Salisu. Let's see whether we're able to do any more. Diallo can come on as well. I want to bring on... Do we bring on Teller? Let's bring on Teller as well. Can we do that? We can do 5 substitutions. So Nathan Teller is going to come on in the Europa League. We are 4-1 up away from home. We have been the better side by a fair distance as well. Can we make it 5? No, we can't make it 5, but a 4-1 away win is very, very good. It should have been 4-0. So the first ever Europa League game then ends in a victory. We pick up £500,000 and the Saints fans want Mokoku signed on a permanent deal. We can do it. It is possible. It's going to cost us £50 million. We don't quite have it. We don't, do we? We could do some jiggling here. We might be able to, this could be a concern. End of the season, Mokoku, I will say Mokoku will be playing for us next season. We might extend his loan. We might sign him permanently. That is going to do it for this episode. Apologies about the Aston Villa game. It's frustrating to me as well as I'm sure to you guys. Next episode then, we are probably going to go West Ham and Rapid Vienna. I think is what we're going to go for. I'm going to try and do a bit of Premier League, bit of Europa League. We're not going to do absolutely everything. Just want to kind of spread the matches out, basically. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll be back next time with more Football Manager, with Saints in the Europa League, and Youssoufa Moukoko scoring goals for fun. We start today's episode where we finished last season. 5th place in the table, 8 games played, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats. It means, in between episodes, we've lost 1 further match against Liverpool, a 2-0 defeat. It's kind of expected. It's Liverpool. Otherwise, we've done pretty well. We should have won the Norwich game as well. However, they scored late in the match, in the 87th minute, scoring an equaliser. We played Gavin Bazunu as well in this one, which turned out to be a mistake because he gets a 6.3. Also, in our Europa League group stage game, we beat Dinamo 3-0. Salisu, Moukoko and Livaja on the score sheet for this one. Moukoko is good. He's very good at football. For the amount of money he has cost us, he is ridiculous. He's already got 6 goals so far in 7 starts. 3 in the league. 3 in the league and 3 in the Europa League. I don't know why I said sorry there. There's 3 in each competition that he's played in. And he didn't play in the Carabao Cup against Swansea. For the Rapid Vienna game then, we are going to go with Jonas Omlin in goal, Walker Peters, Chaleta Sarr, Salisu and Perrault in defence, Ward-Prowse, Yates and Lavia in midfield with Aribo, Brobby and Moukoko leading the line. We've basically dropped a couple of players. Onyeka's dropped because of fitness concerns. I say a couple of players. That's pretty much it, isn't it? It's basically Onyeka's the only real main starter missing out for this. Rapid Vienna only have 5 substitutes. What's going on? Why have they only got 5 subs? I'm not 100% sure, but I think if we were to win this game, we are basically through to the next round of the Europa League, because we're going to have 9 points out of a possible 9. And I think it's only us and Dinamo who are going to be up in the upper echelons of the group. They're currently sat on 6 points alongside us, I think. So, I say 6, they're sat on 3 points? I'm not even sure. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just play Rapid Vienna. Hopefully we can get ourselves another win. Hopefully we can see more Moukoko magic as well. The first highlight of the game is actually a proper highlight as well, isn't it? On the right-hand side, Berger collects it, takes a touch, Ward-Prowse can steal it now. Counter-attack time, Joe Aribo, going to go for a big lump upfield towards Brian Brobby on the left-hand side. He's got no options in the middle, keeps hold of the ball though, cuts inside, trying to get some space for himself, does get some space, it's blocked. I think it might have even hit a Saints man, and his second effort goes just over the bar. First real chance goes our way, and I'm taking that as a good sign. 10 minutes now on the clock. Is the second chance going to go our way? Yates with the ball after picking up a yellow card within 10 minutes. Really? 10 minutes and you've already picked up a yellow card? Salisu has this now inside his own half. There has been an update to Football Manager in between this episode and the last episode, and this one's like an official update. They said it's talking about what was it? Youth player development. Youth player development should now be fixed, which is good news because we've actually got youth players that have come through, and it's come through early. Brobby's going to collect this, crosses it in, Aribo's at the back post on the volley. He's done that a few times, it goes over the bar, still 0-0. 2 chances now going our way, but yet to hit the target. Ward-Prowse with a free kick, 27th minute. Chaleta Sarr is there, and awful goalkeeping by Heddle. And Chaleta Sarr makes it 1-0 in the Europa League, his first of the season. We do seem to get a lot of goals from crosses. Why is nobody celebrating with him? He's just scored a goal and everybody ran off by themselves, and Chaleta Sarr was just standing alone. Like I was saying, we do seem to get a lot of goals that come from corners, come from crosses like that, a lot of headed efforts from defenders, which means I'm wondering whether we need to change our potential approach and go for something like wing play, flood the players into the box, hold up the ball, flood the box, get some crosses in, and just win headers that way. That could be an option. Lavia has the ball, Perrault on the left-hand side. He's got Brobby in front, Perrault's going to keep going. Back to James Ward-Prowse inside his own half. Are we going to make it 2-0 on the half hour? Yates, poor pass intercepted by Schick, but Yates collects it once again. Goes for a run, the former Nottingham Forest man, but it goes over the bar. Half time then, 1-0. We've had 10 shots, 1 on target. If we get more shots on target, we'll score more goals. I'm going to say I'm pleased with the number of shots, and I don't think we've really seen a huge amount of them, have we? Realistically, we've not seen Moukoko have an effort. We've seen Brobby, we've seen Aribo, we've seen Yates have a couple of chances as well. Ward-Prowse with a long-range free kick. It's on target, and it is saved by the keeper. Ward-Prowse has gone over to take it as well from the left-hand side. Nearly said right-hand side. Right-footed from the left-hand side. Brobby's at the front post. On target, held well by the goalkeeper. 12 shots, 3 on target now. 13 and 3. We are getting some shots away and getting a few more on target, but still not enough. Our shots to shots on target ratio is... I'm looking for a 2-to-1. Every 2 shots, one of them should at least be on target. Ideally a 1-to-1. Walker-Peters with the ball on the right-hand side. We've got Moukoko in the middle. He's going to get there first. And Yusufa Moukoko makes it 3-0. It's 2-0. What am I on about? I've added an extra goal. He scored again, though. 70 minutes, and we're going to do a whole load of changes, and some of them might be a bit questionable. Dujon Sterling's going to come on in left winger, sorry. We're going to bring on Livaja up front, which is probably not how it's pronounced, but I'm sticking with it. That's how I've started, and that's how I'm going to finish. Livermento's going to come on as well for Carl Walker-Peters. Do we do anything else? I'm looking at Smallbone, I'm looking at Teller. Those are the other 2. We might hold on and do maybe Yates and Aribo for Smallbone and Teller, which is going to happen now, which is literally 10 minutes later. Final few minutes of the game then, it doesn't look like anything extra is going to happen, and if it does, we've got 3 minutes of injury time. We're going to pick up 3 more points. It is 9 points out of a possible 9 in our Europa League group stage. If we get more shots on target, we'll score more goals. It's really obvious and really stupid, but that's just the case. 18 shots, 6 on target. We got closer to our 2-to-1 ratio, but not close enough. So, looking at Group C then, we do find ourselves top of the pile. 3 wins out of 3, 9 goals scored, 1 conceded, which we saw in the last episode. It means We need one more point and we have guaranteed ourselves qualification. I think that's how it works. We need one more point. So it should be fairly settled, right? It should be fairly settled now. Next up, though, we do have to play Manchester City, who obviously have Erling Haaland. They also have Manuel Akanji, who isn't registered, and I was wondering why, and then realised he's out for 2 to 4 months with damaged cruciate ligaments, so that would make a little bit more sense. He's too good to not register. However, somebody who also isn't registered is Javi Galan, who, is he there in real life? He may well be. I'm not quite sure. He's 28 years old, very good at football, and not registered. That's insane. Before the match has even kicked off against Man City, they've dropped down from 2nd to 3rd. We've dropped down from 5th to 6th because we're playing on the Sunday. But it's fine. We're going to beat Man City because last time I think we played them on camera. We drew 2-2, if I remember correctly. Haaland didn't score. He got subbed off. We need to hope something similar happens this time around. Omlin, Walker-Peters, Bella Kotchap, Gilletta Sarr and Romain Perraud in defence. I mean, I want a double-barrelled left-back, don't I? We don't have one. We definitely don't have a double-barrelled left-back. It's going to be James Ward-Prowse, Onyeka, Lavia in midfield, Aribo, Brobby and Makoko up front. For this, it's basically the same starting 11. The only thing that really changes is centre-backs, and that's more down to fitness than anything else. So, walking out onto the pitch then for the Man City game. Are they playing Haaland? Of course they're playing Haaland. Captain Erling Haaland as well, apparently. Why is he captain? That just seems a weird thing to do, is to make Haaland your captain. It's not fantasy football. 18th minute, and we've got a very good chance. Potentially Bella Kotchap comes in front of Gundogan. His headed effort goes over the bar. First real chance goes our way. Edison already is on a 7.1 rating. I'm not sure why or how. He's had to save one effort. It's Carl Walker with the throw. Not to be confused with Carl Walker-Peters, both of whom obviously used to play for Spurs. Aymeric Laporte. What are you going to do? Just going to dolly around? Dolly around, sure, that's the word. Ilkay Gundogan down the right-hand side, finds Walker, collects it. Perraud's there, I assume it's Perraud. Gets the cross in towards Foden. Bernardo Silva is there, and it is trickled across the line. Phil Foden's assist, Bernardo Silva with the finish. Jonas Omlin, not very good goalkeeping. Perraud with a throw towards Ruben Diaz, apparently. Why did we just throw it straight to their defender? Erling Haaland collects it, has no support, passes it back to Kevin De Bruyne, and now Phil Foden. City have got a good team, haven't they? Their team is absolutely ridiculous. I imagine their subs bench is just as good as our starting 11, and there's only like 9 of them. Coletta Carr, Ward-Prowse gets it from Lavia, Bella Kotchap, 37th minute. Are we going to get ourselves back into this game with a goal in the first half? Brobby invites Romain Perraud forward towards the penalty spot. It's a poor pass, and it's cleared by Man City, and now it's 2 versus 2, and one of those 2 is Erling Haaland. The other one is Phil Foden. He's got an option at the far post as well. He's not gone for it. Should be 2-0 to City. That there should have been a goal. Well, despite the fact that there's been a lot of highlights, there's not been a lot of action, has there? 5 shots apiece, 1 shot on target apiece, 1-0 to Man City. You're doing all right. We're doing okay. Apart from Makoko and Coletta Carr and Perraud and Ward-Prowse, we're not doing very good at all. We're really not doing very good. Do we take off Makoko? Yes, Marco Lavaja is going to be coming on up front because Makoko, he's clearly not doing anything right, is he? He's not doing anything right. Onyeka we do need to consider bringing off at some point because he should only be playing 75 minutes, but we'll see how he goes. 52nd minute, Lavia, the former City man, finds Lavaja. Left-hand side is Brobby. He's gone off towards the right-hand side to find Walker-Peters. Joe Aribo in the penalty area. Can he play the ball on the ground? What are you doing? Walker-Peters, Lavaja, to Brobby, to Aribo. It's found its way in, but the flag goes up. There were too many passes there. Nobody wanted to shoot, did they? Nobody had the confidence to shoot. It fell to Lavaja, should have done something. It then fell to Brobby, should have done something. It fell back to Lavaja, should have done something. And nobody did. Like, should have spun and shot. He did actually shoot, but then it was deflected. Oh, it wasn't deflected, was it? He passed it to... Oh, what a weird highlight. How do we not score from that? And now a few minutes later, we've got City coming forward. Walker in the penalty area. Plays it back. Jack Grealish. Back again to Gundogan. Brobby with a decent slide. Rodrigo Ake collects it now on the left-hand side, playing as an inverted wing-back, I think. Plays it all the way back to Laporte. They've got nobody back. Absolutely nobody in their half, bar the goalkeeper. I mean, obviously the goalkeeper's good at football, so it doesn't mean anything if we get past all their defence. It's Gundogan across to Rodrigo, now Foden, and Omlin was already on the ground when Foden shot there. Have we got a Bruce Grobbelaar on our hands? I realise anybody over the age or under the age of about 30 probably doesn't know what that means. 3 substitutions then as we go 2-0 down. Diallo, Smallbone and Adam Armstrong coming on for Onyeka, Lavia and Brobby. Not necessarily in that order, but I think it actually is. Omlin has had a bit of a shocker, hasn't he? He's on a 6.4. He's had to save 1 or 3 shots and he saved 1 of them so far. And the Foden goal should have stopped it. The Silva goal arguably should have stopped that one as well. Is it going to be 3-0? Bella Kotchap can clear that ball. Aribo flicks his head onto absolutely nobody. Ake collects it. Laporte, final 10 minutes or so of the game. Gundogan's going to get on the end of this. Bella Kotchap has closed him down. Crossed in to Riyad Mahrez. And Mahrez makes it 3-0. We've lost potentially 3, maybe by more goals against Manchester City. And Erling Haaland still hasn't scored against us. Again, he's been subbed off. Did he play badly? I don't know. I wanted to find out. We've got another highlight. We're going to get a consolation goal. No. We've just literally passed the ball straight to Foden. Livages has nicked the ball off. And we've got a corner. We haven't got a corner. I swear that went off the pitch. What happened there? Well, we've lost 3-0 against Man City with an XG of 1.62 to their XG of 1. How? How have we done that? Omlin's a 6-1. Bella Kotchap finishes on a 6-3, so he clearly didn't do very well. Armstrong needs to go in January. I'm disappointed. We should have won. I'm going to throw a thing at you. I'm furious with you. Appeared to lack belief. What? The belief that you could move out of the way? I don't know. Now, straight after the game, after a poor performance as well from Omlin, we've just had some news that West Ham. It's a David Moyes. I assumed Everton because my head stuck 10 years ago, apparently. West Ham are interested in Omlin. I'm tempted. I'm genuinely quite tempted. And then it's going to force our hands to actually play Bazunu. And we might need to get ourselves a backup goalkeeper. But obviously, it's October. It's nearly November. We've still got a month or 2 before the transfer window can actually open. And we can actually spend a bit of money. Money, by the way, we still have some. We've got 36 million to spend. About 140,000 in the wage budget as well. So we've got money to make some moves. I don't know what to do with that money. If you have ideas, tell me down in the comments, because hopefully I'm going to be able to see those comments before I even record the transfer window episode. So if you've got ideas of what I can spend that money on, please do tell me. I'm just going to give you some options here. Harry Winks for £6 million. Does want a lot of money though. He's on 90 grand a week. Do we possibly look at getting the Dortmund double with Karim Adeyemi? Mate, can we loan him? I feel like we can't look at loaning it. We can loan Adeyemi. He's gonna cost a lot of money. Going to cost £21 million. Or 42.5 if we don't play him. What about stealing Anel Ahmedhodzic from Sheffield United, a player who arguably is too good to be playing for Sheffield United? He might cost a fair amount of cash though. Or his Sheffield United teammate Sander Berge, not a bad shout. Hear me out. Thorgan Hazard, free transfer, which means we can probably get him cheap in January if we really wanted him. We can play him alongside Dujon Sterling and pretend that we've got Raheem Sterling and Eden Hazard. It's not going to work, is it? Or do we do this? Is this what we do? It might be what we do, you know. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying these videos. Next episode, what do we do? Do we do Dinamo and Brighton? Or do we do Man UFC? I don't want to do Man United just because of, they don't want to be in the game. And I just don't like the fact they don't want to be in the game. We might do Dinamo and Brighton. That might be where we go. We finish off our Europa League group stages as well. Obviously, we've got Augsburg. But by that point, we should have confirmed our position in the next round. And then we're on the run-up to the January transfer window, which, like I said, stick your comments down below who I should buy in January. That's going to do it for this one. See you next time. Looking at the fixtures that we played in between episodes, we played Leicester, Brentford, Rapid Vienna, Arsenal, and Manchester United. You would expect us to beat maybe Brentford. We beat Manchester United and Arsenal and Rapid Vienna. I don't really know what happened here. Basically, we lost against Leicester. We weren't very good. I played Gavin Bazunu. He was terrible. Seems to be a theme of Gavin Bazunu. Against Brentford, Ethan Pinnock scoring twice in this one. Not ideal. Also, Marco Lavaja missing a penalty. Rapid Vienna, a nice, comfortable 3-0 victory. Arsenal, an 88th minute winner from Yusufa Moukoko, getting his second of the game. Against Man United, a 3-1 win here. We were superb. We just suddenly came to life in the 45th minute of the first half, scoring twice before the break, and then Adam Armstrong even coming off the bench, topping off the scoreline in the 93rd minute. It means, from a Premier League perspective, we are up in 5th place still. We are closing in on Brentford. What happened to Brentford? Have they just bought a load of people? Why are they suddenly doing so well? They spent 7 million on Jan Cuoto, and that's about it. Let's jump into the first match of the episode then. Against Dinamo in the Europa League. We are technically qualified, but we still don't know whether we're finishing top or second. If we win this, we will be finishing top of the table because Dinamo have already qualified as well, and they are going to finish in the other position, basically. It's going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Kasunu, Salisu and Frabotta in defence. James Ward-Prowse, Onyeka and Lavia in midfield. Brobby, Armstrong and Makoko as our front three for this one. I have done some tweaks. We've got a complete wing-back on attack. We've got a Mazzala on support. We've got an inverted winger on support. I've done basically a lot of changes down the right-hand side because I think that's where we get a lot of, not necessarily chances, but we seem to come down the right-hand side and then go across to the left. And this is me not understanding how tactics and roles work, but I'm expecting Brobby, being an inverted winger, to sit about here, and Onyeka to sit about here, which then gives Livramento free rein all the way up and down that right-hand side. That's the plan. It's probably not how it's going to work. So, as mentioned, we are qualified, and this is a fancy view, isn't it? I mean, I guess it is just because of all the European matches, you get fancy views and camera angles like this, but it does just it looks quite nice, doesn't it? And I guess we're on TV as well. It's the Europa League, of course we're on TV. So I would expect us to win this game. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember fully, but I'm pretty sure we've won every single match so far in our group. Another win should be fairly easy and fairly on the cards. Armstrong has the ball in the middle to James Ward-Prowse. Forward finds Romeo Lavia. Onyeka with some space. He's just walked straight through him, hasn't he? He's just walked straight through them. Dominik Livakovic holds on to that one. One of the probably many times we're going to see Livakovic's name in your YouTube video because I assume he's still a very good and very cheap goalkeeper. Salisu, 20 minutes on the clock. Tino Livramento can run down that right-hand side. Good bit of hold-up play there. I like to see it. Ward-Prowse, forward. Lavia collects, lumps it upfield, finds Brobby on the right-hand side. He's got one option, maybe two in the middle. Makoko is there, and it is blocked, saved by the keeper. It's going to be a corner. Ward-Prowse is going to take it as well from the right-hand side. I'm not sure why this is from the right-hand side. I thought it would have been from the left. It's towards Kasunu. He heads over the bar. We're playing Kasunu, by the way, because Chiletasar is currently out injured. Bella Kotchap currently injured as well. Kasunu is our fourth choice centre-back, but he's still very good. 10 minutes to play of the first half. Frabotta is going to not go anywhere near that. I thought he was going to just run on to the end of that and didn't bother instead. It's Livakovic with his kick upfield. Salisu controls it. I thought he was going to header that. He just controlled it calmly. Brobby with the ball. Through ball. Finds Adam Armstrong. And Adam Armstrong tucks that ball away. The flag goes up. I think this is going to count. We're getting VAR. Fancy Europa League VAR. And the goal has been awarded. We take the lead against Dinamo. We've got 10 minutes left to play the first half. And we are in front for the 5th time out of 5 so far in this competition. Satulo. What? Oh, okay. That was confusing. The camera angle was the wrong way round. The camera angle was the wrong way around. I thought we were shooting to the right. Instead, in that angle, we were shooting to the left. Still in the first half. Lavia's going to hopefully get there first, and he does. Makoko doesn't win the header. It's Ademi. Now Satulo and Misic. Left-hand side is Lubicic. Could be his name. Might be his name. Not sure why I'm even trying to pronounce it. On the ground, crosses it in towards the front post. Dermich is there. Frabotta clears off the line. Is this a counter-attack? It may well be. Hold on. Adam Armstrong has broken through towards the left-hand side. Needs Makoko to get into the box. He's just not bothering. Needs some support. He's won a corner. We survived. We survived that highlight, didn't we? And we've somehow managed to come out of it with a corner to ourselves. Ward-Prowse takes it towards Salisu. It's cleared. Ward-Prowse is going to get another chance towards Brobby. Not paying enough attention. And Manalo, that's his name, can go for a run with the ball for Dinamo. And that run led to literally nothing. And the half-time whistle goes. We've got an XG of 2.22. Makoko is not playing very well at all. I'm going to say to you, you've not been good enough. Get it together. Sort it out. You're on a 6-4. You're our top goal scorer. You should be getting some more goals. 10 minutes into the second half. Dinamo have the ball. Coming forward with it as well. Manalo is the man. Going for a run. Plays into Dermich. And Gavin Bazunu can just about stop that one from going in. Bazunu is not having a particularly good game. Even though he's on the 7. That's fine. I'll let him off. Baturina with a corner for Dinamo towards the back post. Lavia heads clear. Nobody's there wearing a white and red shirt to collect it, so it's going to probably come straight back towards us. Satalo in towards the penalty area. Makoku's there. Kasunu clears it. Lavia's just making a menace of himself in the middle there. Livramento clears. Brobby can control this. Get the ball down the line. Makoku wants it. Through ball now. Through ball is over the top. I think Makoko might have been offside anyway. We are pushing our luck here. We are definitely pushing our luck. Dinamo have only had 5 shots, but arguably should have scored from one of them. Baturina's corner comes in. Gavin Bazunu comes out, can hold on to that. So we are starting from the keeper. 70th minute. Makoko is going to be coming off for I think it's not a former Dinamo man, but is a former Croatian footballer. Played in the Croatian League last couple of seasons, scoring a lot of goals in Levadia. So we're going to be seeing that at some point. But first, we do have to stop Dinamo from coming forward. Manalo with some space. Left-hand side is, I assume, their fullback. Manalo's going into the area. Brobby puts some pressure towards Baturina at the back post. It is blocked by somebody. I'm not sure who. And it's still going, though. Livramento barely gets a header on that. Brobby's lost possession in the penalty area. And Gavin Bazunu has just saved us there. Right, we've got some players who are not doing well. I say not doing well. We've got high ratings. But we're still not doing well, in my opinion. So Levadia is going to come on. Brobby, I'm playing him on the right-hand side, a position that he can't play, and he's on an 8.3. I'm happy with that. We're going to take off Kasunu for Bella Kotchap, which is a risk. It's a big risk. It's 20 minutes. No, we can't do that. We can do that, though. Walker Peters on at right back. Livramento's going to move to be a ball-playing defender in the middle, which is a bit odd. Frabota can also come off as well. No, we can't. We've got no left-backs. Into the final 10 minutes then, and if we can hold on, this isn't a terrible result. Away from home, Dinamo have been very good. 1.71 XG so far. We've kept them quiet in the second half. I say we've kept them quiet. They've kept us quiet in the second half. We have won the match. I mean, look at this. We barely did anything in the second half compared to them, who suddenly just went nuts and had all the shots. We've won the match 1-0. Should have won it by more. We had an XG of 2.41. Combined, there should have been 4 goals in that game. And there is confirmation then that we have qualified for the round of 16. So we miss out on the first knockout round, go straight into the second. Basically, it was Dinamo and Southampton all the way through this group. One more game to play, which I think is Augsburg. We should win that, although they are the only team to actually score a goal against us in the Europa League. Next up then, we're going to move forward into December, the 3rd of December, to take on 10th place Brighton at the Amex, a match that arguably we should be good enough to win. I'm hoping we've got some more fit defenders, because I don't like the fact that we only have 2 at the moment. For the Brighton game then, in goal, big Gavin Bazunu, Livramento, Bella Kotchap, Chaleta Sarr and Walker Peters. We've gone back to the double-barrel defence. It's going to be James Ward-Prowse as the DLP. Onyeka and Smallbone in midfield with Brobby, Aribo and Makoko up front. I'm trying Brobby again on that right-hand side because it clearly worked in the last match. Aribo's going to get a run out on the left-hand side, which is a position where he can technically play, but he's arguably more suited to the right-hand side. And let's hope that we can do something. Apparently, Brighton are good. They're down in 11th now. You've probably also noticed that I am starting to play Bazunu more over Omlin because in January we have a new goalkeeper coming in who I'm expecting to be our number 2 goalkeeper, and I think Bazunu is a better option long term. And if we can get some money for Omlin, which I'm fully aware we only signed him at the start of the save, so he's only been here a year and a half, but if we can get some money out of Omlin, that's a better use rather than getting rid of Gavin Bazunu, who you know is just going to be a world-class goalkeeper in about 4 or 5 years' time. Although this is a beta save and it's probably going to end after 3 seasons, the fact that I'm building for the future is just something what I do in Football Manager. Brobby has the ball, loses out, not ideal. And now Brighton, big kick upfield, Bella Kotchap forward, straight to Adam Lallana though. Trossard doesn't get there. Smallbone controls it well for Jakob Moda. And now Lamptey on the right-hand side. Aribo's there with him, gets past him though. Keep him pace though. Back towards Lewis Dunk. Jakob Moda. He's gone for a run. Lumps it off towards the left-hand side. Good control as well by this man's name. Not even going to try and pronounce it. Webster. Back to the fullback, who I think might be from Ecuador or Colombia. One of those two. It's in the middle. Oh, Smallbone should have got there. McAllister's long-range effort is not the best. Goes over the bar. First chance goes to Brighton, but it wasn't a very good one. And the rest of the match hasn't been very good either, apparently. We've got about 10 minutes left of the first half to play. Makoko's in here. And what happened there? Makoko If you just lost all your confidence, it should be 1-0 to us. But instead, it is 0-0 at half-time. And both teams have been pretty poor. Both teams have been very poor. We need more possession. We have not got it. I've just spotted we have 42% possession. Basically, Brighton are just holding on to everything. Ward-Prowse with the cross for us. Brobby's there. At the back post, goes just over the bar. We're getting better. Are we getting better? It's one highlight. Ward-Prowse with another free kick, a little bit deeper this time. Bella Kotchap heads forward. Aribo goes for goal. And that's gone wide as well. I say that's gone wide. That was definitely going wide. Sanchez in goal. Just watched it. And now Brighton with a chance. 57th minute. Chaleta Sarr didn't bother going for it. I think it might have been Caicedo with a headed effort for Brighton. His effort goes wide as well. Makoko is having his second poor game of the episode. So Lavardra is going to come on. I mean, Ward-Prowse is playing badly. Ward-Prowse is playing badly, but I want to keep him on. And we're going to go for that. We're going to stick Lavia as the DLP. Put Ward-Prowse as the box-to-box. Maybe that little change might help us. 22 maybe minutes left to play. And Brighton have the ball. Annoyingly, we had a free kick in a good position and we just lumped it forward. Walker-Peters intercepts. Lavia finds Lavardra. He's been kicked by, I think, Paul Van Heck? Joel Veltman's come on. Who was it? What's his name? It is Jan Paul Van Heck has been sent off. I knew his name was Paul somewhere. And I imagine because of that, Brighton are going to shut up shop. But then again, their formation for the entire match has been this 7-defender mess. So they've been shutting up shop since the start of the match. Bazunu with a kick over the halfway line. Lavardra doesn't bother. Aribo's been clattered. Caicedo is going to get himself a second yellow card as well. We need to go for this. We need to go for this. They are down to 9 men. We've got a corner. Just chuck everybody up there. We can outnumber them. Ward-Prowse gets the ball back. Get it in the box. Chaleta Sarr across. Finds Brobby. And Brian Brobby is there at the back post. The whistle's gone up. There is no way anybody was offside in this. There is no way. This has to be a goal. This really does have to be a goal. It's who's getting called for offside here? Who's getting called for offside? I mean, nobody's even near. What's going on? There's no way anybody was offside in that at all. Why did we get a whistle or anything? It is 1-0. We've got 5 minutes left to play of injury time, a minute of normal time to play. It's 9-man Brighton. They are down to 9 men. Aribo's nicked this. Play it across. Please play it across. We do. Frank Onyeka's in and Frank Onyeka doubled our lead. We should just coast now to the final whistle. That was tough. That was real tough. Going down to 9 men, I think might have broken Brighton somehow. Just a thought. Getting 2 players sent off may well have broken Brighton. It is a 2-0 win in the end. And Jan-Paul Van Heck, Moises Caicedo both getting sent off. Once Caicedo went off, it was game over, wasn't it? Brobby with the goal. Onyeka with the double as well. We pick up 3 more points. And that moves us up into 5th place once again. I think we dropped down to 6th, but we're back into 5th place where we finished last season, where we started the episode, I think. 25 points on the board, joint with Brentford, who are only ahead of us on goal difference, and obviously because they beat us. But we have some very good wins on there. The 3-1 and the 3-2 against Man United and Arsenal, good wins. The 1-0 against West Ham, I'd say, is a good win as well. Although West Ham now mid-table side. Beating Leeds, beating Villa, beating Burnley, beating Everton. We've beaten some good teams. And we've lost the matches where you'd expect us to lose, apart from Palace and probably Brentford. But Brentford are clearly a Champions League quality side. So, because of the Europa League, I think this season is going to be slightly extended. I'm not sure by how much, but next episode what we're going to do is we're going to come back for maybe Spurs and Wolves. I think we might do that just before the January transfer window, and then we'll do another episode which will be the other side of the January transfer window, so you can see who we've all brought in. Like I said in the last episode, give me hints for players you want me to sign. Tell me who you want me to sign, and I might see if I can get it done. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying these videos. And I will be back tomorrow with more Football Manager in the beta with Southampton. Somehow, we are 4th in the Premier League. 16 games in, so almost halfway through the Premier League season. We are sat on 31 points, 10 wins out of 16. We have the 3rd most wins in the entire season, in the entire competition. It's a bit ridiculous. We've played a few more matches in between episodes, and we've done okay, haven't we? We've beaten Middlesbrough, we got battered by Leicester, we beat Augsburg, we beat Newcastle. Goals from all over the pitch as well. I say all over the pitch. 4 goals scored by Yusufa Moukoko. The £50 million future signing is getting tasty, isn't it? If we can suddenly agree like a transfer fee for next season or a transfer budget for next season of around 70-80 million pounds, I am going to spend 50 million on Moukoko. In this episode then, we're going to take on Tottenham, who are down in a relegation battle, and Wolves, who are fighting for Europa League by the looks of it. I don't know what's happening with Spurs. What I'm hoping is going to happen is going to be another defeat to their name. It is going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Tilata, Salisu and Walker Peters in defence, Lavia, Onyeka, Ward-Prowse in midfield, Aribo, Brobby and Moukoko leading the lines. It's a good team. It's a settled team as well. Realistically, this is probably our best team on paper. If I ask the assistant, they only drop Moukoko for Shea Adams, and Moukoko scored 16 goals this season, Adams has scored 0, and he has had the chance to score goals. 3 starts and 8 off the bench. He's had a few opportunities. Spurs have lost 3 of their last 5 games and only won 1 of their last 5 games. Can we make it 4 defeats out of 5? Which is certainly a possibility. Also, a win would put us up into 3rd place in the table, because Chelsea are only 1 point ahead of us, and this is our game in hand. 12 and a bit minutes played. Skip with the ball, playing for Spurs, not signing for Real Madrid for £52 million, which has happened a multitude of times on multiple Football Manager saves, as far as I understand. It is Yves Bissouma, back to Eric Dyer. Where are you going to go? Plays it backwards to Davies. Forward again, Bentancur, now Skip on the ground, finds Julian Brandt. Good signing, I think that is. Son in on goal. Son's effort goes over the bar of Gavin Bazunu. 0-0, first chance going to Spurs. In fact, all chances going to Spurs. We've had 0. Maybe we can counter-attack from this one, or possibly, just possibly Spurs might have another chance themselves. It's a header clear from Salisu, but it's not the best header, and it's a good stop from Bazunu. That was actually very good. Have goalkeepers been fixed slightly in a recent patch? Is that something that I just didn't notice? But Bazunu seems to be playing a bit better at the moment, which is something he was just horrendous at last season. Davies has the ball for Spurs, back to Hugo Lloris. They've got 2 very old goalkeepers. Lloris must be, 34, 35. Moukoko across to Brobby, and that's in space. That is awful. We're going to see the goal kick as well. So steal it again, please. That would be lovely. Bissouma being pressured, but somehow manages to find Justin, or James Justin, I think is his name. Ward-Prowse can steal it, though. Poor pass, straight to a Spurs man. Bissouma in the middle. Bentancur collects it. Cross to Justin. Has to go backwards. We're doing quite well. It's still 0-0. Spurs have obviously had a couple of chances. We've had a sitter absolutely missed by Brobby. Ricardo Horta, Justin down the right-hand side, being chased by Carl Walker-Peters against his former team. Horta still has this ball. Crosses it in. Header clear from Lavia. Counter-attack time. Joe Aribo controls it well. Over the top. Chested down by Moukoko. No support, no blue shirts with him at all. It's an awful effort as well from Moukoko. We can't shoot. Half time then, there has been, 13 shots in the entire match. 2 on target. Both teams are just awful at shooting at the moment. We need more possession, we need better shots. That was literally an option, so we're going to go for that. Chileta Sarr is on a 6.3, which is something to be concerned about. Ward-Prowse as well on a 6.5. Obviously, Ward-Prowse has been moved up into the box-to-box midfielder, and I've dropped Lavia back. I don't know whether we need to swap him back round the other way. It's going to be a free kick for Spurs. Ward-Prowse picking up a yellow card. Horta is the man to take it. Can we get it clear? It's Justin. Livramento doesn't bother jumping for anything, apparently. I don't know why he didn't bother for that. Davies to Ricardo Horta on the right-hand side, in towards the penalty area. Back post is Julian Brandt. Back to the fullback. It's Destiny Udogi, could be his name. It's 1-0 to Spurs. Poor goalkeeping, but that might be animations. And, I mean, do we deserve to be losing? Arguably, yes. But I don't think Spurs really deserve to be winning. They've not been very good either. Chileta Sarr has dropped down to a 6.2, so we're going to bring on Kasunu. We're also going to do Ward-Prowse having a poor game, so Diallo's going to come on for Ward-Prowse. Brobby's coming off for Nathan Teller? John Sterling. We're going to go for that one. It's a weird thing to do, but we're doing it. Also, Adams coming on for Yusufa Moukoko. We've had chances. We've had 6 shots. We've had 1 of them on target. We've missed a couple of sitters as well. The goal scorer with a throw to Julian Brandt. Plays it back to Udogi. Probably isn't how his name's pronounced, but I have no idea. Onyeka can intercept it. Diallo ball over the top. Adams is going to get there first. Can he get his first goal of the season? He's tried to tuck it past Lloris. Dyer stops it on the line, and it is cleared. We should have scored. Walker-Peters with a throw. Is this going to be another chance? Controls it back from Diallo. Where are you going to go, Kyle? To Lavia. Ball in towards the penalty area. It's Dujon Sterling of all people heading wide. And yes, that was a motorcycle driving past my house because that's what happens when I record these videos. 73rd minute. Sterling with the ball loses out to Justin. And Lloris going for a run. Weird thing to do for an aging goalkeeper. Kasunu heads it across to Julian Brandt. Good job, well done. Nice, sensible bit of football. Son makes it 2-0. I think that's going to count as well. We're getting VAR, and it is probably going to count. It's not counted. We have got lucky there. Kasunu, in particular, has got very lucky there because he just headed it straight to Julian Brandt. Spurs still coming forward. 15 minutes to play. Skip should have scored. Skip does score. What was that? Goalkeeping, defending, all of that was a nightmare. Final 5 minutes of the match. It's safe to say it is game over. Spurs with another possible chance, though. Don't be 3-0. 3-0 is going to make it look bad. The Leicester match that we played recently as well was a 3-0 defeat. And it looks worse than it is. It's still not a good defeat, but losing 3-0 seems a lot worse than losing 2-0. Mora's in on goal. Should have scored. Son does score. It is 3-0. Kyle Walker-Peters is on a 6.2. Kasunu's on a 6.4. We've just not played well. Spurs took their chances. I mean, they had 8 shots on target in the end. Defensively, we were bad. We were just bad, weren't we? We were just bad across the board there. Well, that match took place on the 23rd of December. We now need to go the other side of Christmas Day onto Boxing Day to play Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team in 9th. Spurs were the wrong end of the table as well. Spurs are down the wrong end of the table, and we've just lost 3-0 against them. Let's put the Spurs game behind us, and let's focus on beating Wolves. What we're going to go for then for this one is going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Bella Kotchap, Rafa Marin, and Carl Walker-Peters in defence. Rafa Marin will be making his debut today on Boxing Day. Ward-Prowse, Diallo and Onyeka in midfield. Aribo, Brobby and Makoko up front. It's kind of similar to our usual starting 11. The only difference, obviously, we've dropped a couple of players. Salisu is in need of a rest, so he's going to be on the bench, but he's not going to be available. I say not available. We're probably not going to play him. Should probably put Chileta Sarr on the bench for maybe Frabotta. We don't need 2 left-backs. Even though we've just lost 2 matches, realistically, 2 matches 3-0 in recent succession, we are still looking pretty good. 3 wins out of 5, 2 defeats out of 5, though, doesn't actually sound as good, does it? It's a nice 4-4-2 for Wolves. What year is this? Do teams still play 4-4-2? Like the normal flat 4-4, 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 strikers. I feel like that's not accurate. They probably play something slightly different. Some with attacking mentality and defensive mentality and so on. Anyway, Wolves have a possible early chance. 1.5 minutes on the clock. It's whatever his name is. It is Nunes, isn't it? Ball through to Neto. Bazunu can tip that over the bar. It's actually a free kick. I assume Neto was offside. Bazunu with a goal kick. We didn't see the free kick, but we're seeing a goal kick instead. Marin to Walker-Peters. Is it a risk playing Marin? 100%. We've done it anyway. It's what we've gone for. Guedes on that left-hand side. Has Livramento for company. Crosses in. Marin with a head clear. Diallo flicks it on further. It's intercepted, actually. I was going to say it's not well controlled, but it is. Onyeka to Makoko. Has to stop and go backwards, inviting Walker-Peters forward on the left. Through a ball to Brobby in the penalty area. 2, maybe 3 to choose from. Walker-Peters is a 4th, and his effort goes over the bar. Carl Walker-Peters there had a golden opportunity to take the lead. 11 and a bit more minutes played. Brobby's nicked the ball there in a very good position. Onyeka tries to get some space for himself and does so. Tries to place it in the bottom corner. Jose Sarr has that covered all day long. Brentford have taken the lead against Norwich, which means Brentford move back up into a Champions League spot. It's weird that Brentford are in a Champions League fight at the moment, and we are halfway through the season. Brobby's going to hopefully get on the end of this. He's not even anywhere near Connor Cody. It doesn't matter. Makoko's missed an absolute sitter again. Diallo has nicked the ball in a very good position. Possible kind of counter-attack on. Diallo's in towards the penalty area. Has to stop. Back to Joe Aribo, and Connor Cody's put that ball away. It's an own goal. Connor Cody is claiming it. I say it says a mistake. I'd hardly say that was a mistake from Cody. Didn't really have too many options. It basically hit him and went in. That goal basically came from Diallo just stealing the ball, being an opportunist, nicking the ball away. We are up to 3rd place in the Premier League. We're up to 3rd in the Premier League at the moment. This is nuts. We're 18 games in. We are almost halfway through. We are 3rd in the league. Into the second half, I haven't done any changes. We did a reasonable team talk. Makoko might be needing to come off. He's started the season obviously very, very well, but the last few matches, probably the last 2 matches, he's been horrendous. We're just going to do one change for the moment, and we're doing Nathan Teller coming on for Makoko. Teller has the pace. That is all I'm thinking here. It seems to be having fast strikers, really fast strikers, is the way to get goals in this year's Football Manager. So that's why we're going for Nathan Teller. Livramento with the ball outside the area. He's been tackled well, but doesn't lose the ball. That's a straight red card for Nunes. It's a two-footed tackle, and this is James Ward-Prowse's territory as well. It must have been a great free kick because we didn't see anything. Bazunu with a goal kick for us into the final 15. Rafa Marin so far keeping a clean sheet, but he is only on a 6.6. It's Brobby to Onyeka. We've only done one sub. Maybe we need to think about doing a couple more. Ward-Prowse collects this ball, plays it over the top to nobody. It's a header clear, not the best header clear. Samido, it's Aribo, it's gone for goal. It's over the bar, I think. It is over the bar. It's still 1-0. It's been a weird match. It's been a weird episode, this one. Right, we're going to do the remaining subs. So, Perro's coming on, Yates, Smallbone and Adams coming on for Aribo, Livramento, Brobby and Onyeka. Not in that order. I've rearranged everybody. Adams is now leading the line. Teller's on the left. Smallbone's on the right. Yates is playing as the box-to-box. Perro is the left-back. We're probably not going to get any highlights anyway, so it's not going to matter. Yep, told you. No more highlights from the substitutions. We've managed to pick up 3 more points. It was not convincing. It was not convincing. We stopped scoring goals again. But thankfully, Connor Cody is scoring goals for us. Sure, whatever I said there. That seems to work. So, with 18 games played for us, 17 for a few other teams around us, we do find ourselves sat 4th place in the table. On Friday, on the 29th, Spurs are playing Brighton. I think this is actually, so a few teams do have a game in hand. They're going to keep hold of that game in hand. But 4th place, as we go into the new year, that's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. Brentford are up there at arguably the wrong end of the table for Brentford. No offence, Brentford fans. Man United, we are just ahead of them, but they should probably pick up a point or 2, or 3, realistically, in their one game in hand. But so far, much like last season, we are definitely overachieving. If we have a quick look at the season preview, 13th place. They are expecting us to finish in 13th place, and we are currently sat 4th. That is going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to go to the other side of the January transfer window, where we're going to play Burnley and Everton, and we're also going to talk about the transfers that are coming in and going out. Teemu Pukki is leaving the club. Let's face it, he's not really played for us at all this season, has he? That is going to do it for this one then. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with more Football Manager and some new faces joining the club. Youssef and Makoko on a permanent deal? He's still a little bit too expensive, isn't he? See you next time. So, we might have gone and done it. We have signed Youssef and Makoko on a permanent deal, or will be signing him on a permanent deal, which is a good bit of business. Is costing us a little bit more. I think it's 44 million up front, plus about another 10 afterwards, so it's costing maybe 4 or 5 million more than our 50 million agreed, but it's what we needed to do to get it over the line. The problem is, he has been awful since mid-December. He's literally been the worst footballer on the face of the earth. The highest rating is a 6.7 against Brentford. I don't know whether he's just stopped shooting. He's not really shooting, is he? When you actually look at it, he's basically had 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots. He's had 10 shots in all of those games. That's ridiculous. Also in January, there was a bit of a mass exodus of players leaving. Adam Armstrong has left, signing for Eintracht Frankfurt. £11 million for this. Decent bit of money. Teemu Pukki also going over to Germany for £1.6 million, signing for Werder. Pion Sisto, who spent most of this season and a bit of last season out on loan in Japan, has signed for Sochi for £9 million. That's a lot of money for a player who wasn't good for us. Romain Perraud has also moved over to Germany for £11.5 million. And Lianco has moved to his native Brazil to sign for Palmeiras for, I'm not even sure how much, 7, 8 million? 13.25 million. A lot more money than I thought it was. We've had a bit of a mass exodus. Partially, this was to fund the whole Youssef Makoko deal. But we have been busy on the in front as well. Felix Nemeka has joined from Wolfsburg. He's cost £1.5 million, and I've immediately loaned him back out. I brought him in because he's young, he's part English, because I don't know if he's born here, but he's certainly part English. He was born in Hamburg, but he played a lot of football for Manchester City. He didn't play for City, you know what I mean? He was in the Manchester City. He had a contract in Manchester. That's what I'm trying to say. We've also signed Inaki Peña from Barcelona for probably too much money, but he's come in as our backup goalkeeper. He's technically our third choice goalkeeper because we didn't sell Jonas Omlin and we still have Gavin Bazunu at the club who didn't go out on loan. So we've now got 3 pretty decent goalkeepers. This is a type of player that I think Southampton will sign in a couple of seasons. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, signed from Man City, spent a few seasons out on loan, Anderlecht, Stoke and Burnley. He has cost us not a lot of money, £6 million, potentially going up by another £250,000. He's good enough to play for us now. He's that good, and he'd cost us £6 million for a 22-year-old English centre-back. That is a superb signing. We've also brought in Harry Winks for £700,000 because he was out of contract at the end of the season. I tried to do this in the summer, and they wanted £6 million, which I thought, you know what, I'll do that, because we paid that for Ryan Yates, but he wanted £120,000 a week. He's now cut his demands in half. He's on 50 grand a week. It's still pretty steep, but we paid 700k for him. For £1.1 million, we have signed Antonio Blanco, a 23-year-old Spanish midfielder from Real Madrid B, technically. He was out of contract in the summer, but we basically decided to bring him in a bit earlier to try and get him into the squad. He has been playing, coming off the bench a few times. I think he looks pretty good. And finally, we've got ourselves another superb-looking youngster, Paul Wanner, an 18-year-old Austrian footballer. He can play as a winger, central midfielder or a left-back. He's going to be playing left-back today. We'll get to that in a minute. Basically, he has come in similar to the Blanco deal. He was out of contract in the summer, brought him in as soon as I can, £1.6 million for an 18-year-old. He's only just turned 18 as well. This could be a brilliant piece of business. So that's all the business that has happened in January, although if we take a look to the right-hand side, we have gone on a mass loan exodus. We have a loan army now. Andrew's gone out to Chesham, Brian Waugh to Cambridge, Cameron Bragg to Bolton, Charles and Hartness going out on loan. Namdi Collins been recalled from Bournemouth, sent out on loan to Stoke. Any other big ones? Kenneth Emmanuel to Notts County, not a bad bit of business there. We've also sent out Sam Amo Awayo to Rochdale. What else? Jimmy J. Morgan, Thierry Small. Thierry Small going out on loan might not have been a good idea. Also, Dynel Simiu, I can never say his name. I don't know whether that is his name or not. Gone to Ipswich. That is a good loan deal for him because I think he's good, but he needs game time. In between episodes then, when it comes to matches, we've not been particularly great. We have dropped down from 4th, I think we were 4th, maybe even 3rd at the end of last episode, down to 7th place. And that is mostly because we played a very good set of teams throughout January. Losing to Chelsea, losing to Man City, losing to Chelsea once again. We did beat Brentford, a 91st minute winner from Marco Lavaja. We beat Norwich as well, we beat West Ham as well. So we're doing okay. We're beating teams that you'd hope we would beat, but we are losing teams against the ones you'd expect us to lose against. Today, it's going to be Blackpool? It's not Blackpool or Blackburn, it's Burnley. It's up in the right part of the country. It's Burnley and Everton. We're not going to play the Blackpool game on camera because I expect we're probably going to win that. So, for the Burnley game then, it's going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood-Bellis, Salisu and Wanner in defence. Wanner is playing in defence because we sold Perro, we have a suspension to Walker-Peters, and we have an injury to Frabotta, which means we have no left-backs. We've also just loaned out Thierry Small. So even our 3rd, 4th choice left-back is currently not in the club anymore. So it was a mistake, okay? It was a mistake to loan out Thierry Small on deadline day, but we did it. Onyeka, Lavia and Ward-Prowse in midfield. Teller, Brobby and Livaja leading the line. Makoko is on the bench, but as you can see from his previous however many games, he's been rubbish. So has Chileta Sarr. Aribo's not been great either. So we're playing the better of our players. Maybe Salisu shouldn't be playing either. Let's do Bella Kotchap. Let's go for that. 18 minutes played. Taylor Harwood-Bellis controls it in the penalty area. I've just realised it's another double-barreled defender, isn't it? We've gone and signed another one. Churlinov crosses the ball in. Harwood-Bellis clears. Teller controls it against his former team, his current team in real life. Playing very, very well for Burnley, isn't he? It is, who is it? Brian Brobby with the ball. Back to Paul Wanner. Onyeka. Lavia on the right-hand side. Teller needs to run in that space. He's not gone for it. Lavia holds up play. Livramento with an early yellow card. Nathan Teller collects it. Plays it in the middle to Lavaja. Long-range effort from the Croatian. It's a good save from Bond. Ward-Prowse is going to go over to take the corner then, right-footed as Romelu Lukaku scores for Chelsea against Man United. Not sure why that's relevant, I just saw it in the corner. Frank Onyeka collects, but I think this highlight's dead. It is. Bond with a goal kick, half hour played. Over the halfway line, Onyeka intercepts it though, that's good. Finds Nathan Teller, through ball to Brian Brobby, one-on-one with the keeper, goes wide. It's taken a deflection off McNally and Bond can hold on to that. Brobby always seems to get in those positions, similar to Adam Armstrong last season. and doesn't take anywhere near as many chances as he perhaps should. How have we not scored? Bella Kotchap hits the post. Ward-Prowse is trying to keep this highlight alive, goes back to Livramento, and the highlight ends there. Another chance goes begging. And at half-time, it is 0-0. We have been comfortably the better side. We've had 7 shots, 4 on target. Do that one. Sure, didn't work. Right now, we just kind of click that one and hope for the best. Didn't really fire too many people up, did it? Right, into the second half, no changes. Brobby, Ward-Prowse struggling. Wanna's struggling as well, but he is definitely out of position, so I'm not too concerned about that. Think we're going to do an early change, and by change, we're going to do that. Swap over Ward-Prowse to be the DLP. He doesn't seem to work as a box-to-box midfielder, which probably makes sense, doesn't it? Aribo's going to come on as well, and I think we just stick for that. We're going to bring Makoko on at some point for Lavaja, because we need to get Yusufa to score some goals. Second half has been extremely uneventful until now. Hopefully this is the opening goal of the game. It's Lavia, not Lavaja. Wout Weghorst with the ball. Loses out to Onyeka, but loses out to Harrison Reed. And now Burnley can possibly come forward. Harwood Bellis for us though. Where are you going? In towards Bella Kotchap, Ward-Prowse. 3 of the double-barreled boys passing between them. Go long, or not. Go short, fair enough. Onyeka facing away from goal. Spreads it out wide to Wanna. Chests it down, keeps hold of the ball though as well. The young Austrian, making just his second appearance for the club, crosses it in. It's a weird cross. Teller to Lavia, over the top to Livramento. That's a good ball. First time cross, Joe Aribo was there, and the substitute Joe Aribo puts the ball in the back of the net. 70 minutes on the clock. We take the lead. Tino Livramento with the assist. Paul Wanner heavily involved in that. With that ball there, that was a superb bit of football. Lavia's pass as well was great. All of that was very good football. Now that we have the lead, Makoko can come on. We're going to take Ward-Prowse off as well for Antonio Blanco. So we're going to see the Spanish midfielder as well make an appearance today. We do also have one more sub to do, which looking at it, I don't know what I'm going to really change. We've got 7 minutes to play. We've got another highlight, Livramento to Makoko. The future signing loses out to Taylor. And we need to get this ball, otherwise I'm concerned that Burnley might get themselves another chance. They've had literally one all game, but, you know, football manager being football manager might mean they'll score their next one. Teller collects from Makoko. Goes for a run. Dinks it over. That was a shot. That was a shot, Nathan. The commentary said it deserved a goal at the end of that. It didn't. It definitely didn't deserve a goal. We've got 1 minute to play, and Burnley have a free kick in a good position. Taylor's going to take it. Curling effort, and Charlie Taylor makes it 1-1. All it took was one chance, one free kick, and we've thrown away 2 points. They had 2 shots on target. They had 2 shots on target all game, and they've stolen a point. Why have we stopped being able to finish? Why have we just stopped being able to score goals? I don't know what it is. Oh, and even better news, Tino Livramento is now suspended for the next match as well, but I think we're going to have Walker Peters back, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. 3 days' time, we play Blackpool. However, we're going to come back for the Everton game on the 18th of February, which is hopefully going to be another win, but we are away from home, and they are up in 5th. Back for the Everton game then, and let's not talk about the Blackpool game. We didn't lose. We didn't win. We drew 1-1. Shea Adams with a goal. They then scored. We've now got a replay. Anyway, we've got to play Everton in the league, which is much more important. It's going to be Bazunu in goal, Walker Peters, Harwood Bellis, Salisu, and Wanner as a left-back once. Again, this is because Tino Livramento is now suspended, which is marvellous, isn't it? Ward-Prowse, Onyeka, Lavia in midfield. Aribo, Brobby, and Makoko leading the lines. Makoko is getting worse. We've spent £50 million on this man. He needs to score goals. When I was talking about transfers earlier, I forgot to mention one transfer that is going to take place in the future, in the summer, and I will tell you him at the end of the episode because basically it's a good one. It's a very good transfer. I'm annoyed we couldn't get it done in January, but yeah, here we go. He's going to join in the summer, and it's going to make Season 3 for a very interesting final season with Southampton. 10 minutes on the clock, and Dele Alli has a free kick in Charlie Taylor territory, and he puts it in the top corner. So if you want a free kick, you want it there. You want it exactly on that spot because you will put it into the top corner. Everton take the lead. It's the first highlight of the game, and there was nothing we could do about that. And since the goal, we are getting shots away. None of them really on target, only 2 on target, but we have an XG of 1.01 already, and we've not seen a single shot of ours. So they're clearly reasonable shots, but easily savable as well, if that makes sense. Not worthy of a highlight. Patterson's ball back to Pickford, well outside of his area. Lenglet forward to Ghana. Back to Lenglet, now to Corey, intercepted, stolen away by Onyeka. Makoko goes for goal, and Yusufa Makoko has finally scored his first goal in 12 games, something like that. We've equalised. Makoko back in the goals. This is what we've needed as a team. Not just him, we need him to be scoring the goals like he was at the start of the season. Almost at half-time. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left of injury time to play. Walker-Peters chests it down well for Dele Alli to collect it. In the middle to McNeil. Loses out to Salisu. That is good bit of defending from the Ghanaian. Back to Bazunu. Big kick over the halfway line. Brobby's going to get on the end of this. Brian Brobby takes a few touches, goes for goal. Tries to chip it over Pickford, who kept hold of the ball and walked it off for a corner. One final chance then. 20 seconds left. Ward-Prowse is going to take it. Stick it on Salisu's head. That's what we want to see. It's towards Brobby. Ward-Prowse doesn't want to try and keep that in. Wins another corner. I don't know why Brobby's at the front post. He shouldn't be the man who's at the front post. That's just weird to me. Shouldn't be him. It's Ward-Prowse again towards Brobby. And this time it is cleared. The half-time whistle goes. We have a 1-1 draw. We are the better team. We basically just got done by a free kick. No changes at half-time. All I've done is a couple of tweaks to our corners so we don't have our left winger. And Michaelenko's just scored for Everton. They've had 2 chances and scored them both. Okay, they've had 5 chances and scored twice, but still, we are defending horrendously badly. On the hour mark, are we going to get ourselves a second equaliser? Onyeka to Wana, down the line. Brobby collects it in the middle. Makoko's there. His effort this time is saved. Keeps it alive. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there. He kept the ball alive and did nothing. Patterson with a throw for Everton. Back to Branthwaite. Back to Patterson on the right-hand side. Goes for a little run. I'm not sure who that's with him. It's still Patterson. Brobby can steal the ball though. That's good. Off towards the right-hand side to Michaelenko for them. What a weird pass, Brobby. Brobby's on a 6.7 somehow. Aribo's on a 6.4. Are you basically being blamed because the 2 players who scored both play on the left-hand side, and Aribo's taken the blame for that. Michaelenko's got past Aribo with ease as well. It's stopped by Bazunu, cleared by Salisu. Right, substitutions time. Aribo is coming off. Shea Adams is coming on. Harwood Bellis for Bella Kotchap. What else do we do? Ward-Prowse is rubbish, isn't he? He's absolutely rubbish. We're gonna do Harry Winks as the DLP. Going to be making his Premier League debut for Southampton then, coming off the bench. He did play in the cup game, which obviously ended up in a draw. Final 10 minutes of the match, and we've got a corner. Winks is the man to take it. Bella Kotchap's at the front post. This time it's cleared, and Idrissa Gueye going to collect it. Winks intercepts and kicks it straight into Shea Adams. Why was Adams not paying enough attention there? And now Everton possibly with a counter chance. Dele Alli lumps it towards the middle. Intercepted, sort of. Still Everton with the ball. Down the left, Ali back to Michaelenko. The 2 goal scorers combining. Crosses it in. And Dwight McNeil makes it 3-1. They've had 3 chances. They've had 3 decent highlights go their way and scored all 3 of them. It's been another one of those games where defensively we've been awful. Going forward, we've actually been okay. We should have scored more goals. We got an XG of 1.6. They got an XG of 7 or 0.7. And we lose 2-1. How do we stop this? Consistency, defensive consistency is a problem. It's a real problem. If I take a look at some of our players, they're just bad all the time. So here we are, sorting by our last 5 games when it comes to performances. There's a theme there, isn't there? I mean, arguably you can take Paul Wanner out. He's only played twice for us, but a right back, a goalkeeper. You've got Harwood Bellis is there, Salisu's there, Kasunu's there. All of these are our defenders. All of them are our defenders playing badly. Playing well, the only defender is Livramento. That's it. And he can't play every game because he keeps getting injured. So something's not working with our defence, and I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we are going to go to the Europa League knockout stages. I don't even know who we're going to be playing. It's not even been drawn yet. So yeah, there's round of 16 will be drawn on the 1st of March. We will be taking our first matches then on the 14th of March, maybe the 15th or 13th. Not quite sure how Europa League games work, whether they stagger them during the week. Doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this somewhat disappointing episode. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and this is who is going to be joining in the summer. Don't give it away in the comments, okay? Don't give it away in the comments, but we are signing Endrick. We are signing Endrick in the summer. He's going to be just turning 18 years of age. I can't remember how much for. It's not a huge amount. It's like £15 million we're signing him for. It means next season we might need to go 2 up top. Makoko and Hendrick. 2 Wonderkids. Both of them still teenagers as well. Anyway, like I said, don't say anything in the comments, and I'll see you next time. So far, the second half of the season, things have not been going to plan for our Southampton team. We're going to be playing Sporting twice today in this episode in the the Europa League, round of 16, the home and the away leg. But in between episodes, we've lost against Everton, which I think was actually in the last episode. We beat Blackpool just about 1-0 in that one, losing to Wolves, losing to Arsenal, losing to Newcastle. Defensively, we are shocking. We are absolutely appalling. We have conceded, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 goals this side of Christmas, or this side of the new year. Actually, if you include Christmas, it's gone up to 22 goals. That's a silly amount of goals to concede in that amount of games. We need to sort something out. And by sort something out, we're not really changing anything. We are going to go with Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood-Bellis, Salisu and Walker-Peters in defence. I say not changing anything. We've changed a couple of bits. I've gone for the ball-playing defender on the left rather than on the right-hand side because if you've got the ball player and the wing-back, both head up the pitch. There's a huge gap here. So Harwood-Bellis is now going to kind of cover for Livramento when he starts going forward. Onyeka, Lavia, Ward-Prowse in midfield. Adams, Brobby and Makoko as our attacking options for this one. I'm kind of leaning towards pushing somebody like Adams into the middle. This is a bad idea, isn't it? Is this a bad idea? I don't even know what a good position to play is. If we put him as a false 9 off to the right, Livramento should cover this gap. That's the plan. This isn't going to work. This is not going to work, but we're going for it anyway. I did have a meeting with the team as well before this match to basically say, listen, we need to start turning this thing around because otherwise we are going to just start losing most things. We're safe from relegation. That's not going to be an issue, but I don't know how safe my job is. I think if we continue to lose games and continue to drop down the table and we finish sort of mid-table just inside the bottom half, something like that, I think the board might get rid of me. 10th minute of the match and Porto have the ball. We need to get there first and we do. Livramento finds Makoko. Onyeka through ball. Finds false 9 Shea Adams. Takes plenty of touches. Goes for goal. And Odysseus could be his name. That's probably what his name is. Vlachimodisius or something like that, isn't it? It's a long, confusing name. Picks the ball up. Anyway, we've got a corner. It's going to be Ward-Prowse to take it. Right-footed corner towards St. Just at the front post. Lavia needs to get there first. Does so. Gets it back to Ward-Prowse. Poor first touch, but still can hold on to the ball. And his effort is blazed over the bar. I have just realised I still haven't fixed permanently my corners. So we've got the wrong players on the posts at the moment. We should have both of our centre-backs on the posts. It's a ball in towards Trincao at the back post. Takes a couple of touches. Hits the post. Livramento clears towards goal, which is a questionable thing to do. Brobby to Walker-Peters. Highlight ends. We should arguably be losing this game after that effort. Because of what's happening next season, and if you missed the end of the last episode, you don't necessarily know what's happening next season. We do need to work into having a 2-striker system. We need to have 2 strikers because we've got 2 very good, very young strikers playing for us next year. So maybe this could be the future. Lavia's in on goal. He's tucked that away, but I'm pretty sure he was miles offside. I don't think he was offside. We're not even getting VAR here. He looked miles off, didn't he? Let's have a replay. So Adams gets the ball, makes some space for himself, plays it through. He does look offside, doesn't he? I'm not complaining, but still. And that was the last highlight of the first half. And interestingly, the assist coming from Shea Adams. That's a very interesting thing for me. Adams is the man to play well in this false 9 role. Is Makoko better at something else? An advance forward, maybe? Maybe we try you as that. Just getting into the position, doing some stuff that way around. I'm not quite sure. I don't know tactics. I don't know whether you've realised this by now. You should have realised it. I'm not very good with tactics. I just let the game play and do tweaks that might ruin everything. It is Sporting with the ball. That's just annoyed a lot of Sporting and Porto fans, I imagine. Mateus Rice with the ball on the left. A player who I tried to sign actually last season. Headed effort from Trincao goes wide. First chance of the second half goes to Sporting. I'm now worried that I've referred to Sporting as Porto about 6 or 7 times in this episode. It's Brobby with the ball. It's not Brobby with the ball. Onyeka collects it. Makoko to Adams. Right-hand side's an option. Maybe not. Ward-Prowse finds Lavia. We've got Livramento making lots of space up the top. Walker-Peters. Brobby. Lovely touch to get past his man and blasts it into the back of the net. Brian Brobby with his 6th goal of the season. We have doubled our lead against Sporting. And we are looking pretty good. Have I just managed to come up with a better tactic? Like, completely on the fly? Is that something I've done? I mean, defensively, we're still playing awfully. Salisu and Harwood-Bellis both on 6.4s. But they haven't scored, so I don't know why their ratings are so low. I'm putting that down to maybe that's the beta. It is Marita for Sporting. Passing it around in their defence. Not really going too far at the moment. Alvaro collects it. Still inside his own half. 65th minute. Ward-Prowse with a sliding tackle. It wasn't really necessary, was it, James? Alvaro to St. Just. Forward. Agate on the ground to Trincao. Lots of space to run into. Dodges a tackle from Brobby. They are starting to come forward. Cross-field ball. Livramento with a volleyed clearance. Makoko. Lovely control to get past his man. Just going to go off towards the left-hand side. Long-range effort from Makoko as well. It's held easily by the goalkeeper. Can somebody tell me, have you managed to get decent ratings out of defenders? Because we're not doing it. We're just not doing it. Salisu's on a 6.2, and we've not seen any reason for him to be on a 6.2. He's just playing badly. We've also got Bellis on a 6.4, Harwood-Bellis on a 6.4. He's not really doing anything wrong. He's just playing badly. Walker-Peters probably should have let that one go off. I don't know why he did a diving header. Back post is Matthias Rice, and Rice makes it 2-1. Question is, do we now bring off Salisu? Because he's clearly playing poorly. I've paused it the moment another highlight has come on. I'm going to go for Chileta Sarr instead of Salisu. I'm keeping Makoko on. He seems to be playing okay. He's not scoring, but he's on a 6-7. He's not playing horrendously badly. We also didn't see the highlight from the kickoff either, so clearly nothing happened there. It is the 83rd minute. Sporting losing the ball. That's good. Onyeka to Brobby. Through ball. Makoko controls it well. He should have the pace to get there in front of everybody. It's a good save from the keeper. We win a corner. And I still haven't fixed my corners, so it's going to go to Brian Brobby at the front post instead of possibly Chileta Sarr or Harwood-Bellis. Ward-Prowse then, right-footed from the left-hand side. Takes his time. Towards Chileta Sarr. It was actually Chileta Sarr was there. Lavia to Ward-Prowse again. Back to Lavia. Offside. Great idea. 3 more substitutions then. It's Bella Kotchap, Harry Winks and Nathan Teller coming on for Salisu, Ward-Prowse and Harwood-Bellis. It's not Salisu, Ward-Prowse and Harwood-Bellis. It's Ward-Prowse, Makoko and Harwood-Bellis. There you go. That's what we're doing. So Teller is going to be leading the line alongside Shay Adams for this. If Teller scores, I'll be happy. We've got the 2-1 lead in the away leg, which is good, but arguably we should be doing better. We've won the match. That's ideal. We've managed to get the win. But we do need to play them again, and I feel like it's not going to be the same result the second time around. I know we're not there yet, but what I've done is I've put that false 9 position up there as sort of a permanent fixture now. Makoko, or our striker, I'm actually going to put as a poacher, because they're going to sit on the shoulder of the last defender. That's my plan. Just sit there, try and break the offside trap. You've got the pace to do it. Once you're in front and you're one-on-one with the keeper, you should be scoring every single time. We're now going to go forward to lose probably 3-0 against Leicester, and then we'll play Sporting once again, but this time at St Mary's Stadium. Well, I think I'm a tactical genius. So we've obviously just played the Leicester game, and we have won 2-0. Harwood-Bellis from a corner, Makoko breaking the line, scoring another goal to his name. It's only his second goal of the calendar year, but he is starting to get more goals. I say calendar year, it's his second goal since scoring twice against Augsburg. So it's been a long time since he's scored consistently. I'm hoping this is the start of something new. We are up to 8th place, but now we're going to go forward and play Porto for a second time, and we're going to try the tactic again on camera. So for match number 2 then, at home it's going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood-Bellis, Chileta Sarr, Walker-Peters, Onyeka, Lavia, Ward-Prowse, Brobby, Adams and Makoko. That's going to be our starting 11. We have injury problems. It means on the subs bench we do have 3 children, and by children I mean literally children. We have got Tyler Dibbling, we have, I don't even know, Eric Dempsey, and what's his name? Theophilus Nweke. Nweke might come off the bench. He's actually pretty decent. Basically, you can see here, I've actually put on my under-21s and under-18s. We're missing Pena, Marin, and Wana because they're not registered. We're missing Salisu, Diallo, Blanco, Aribo, and Livaja all through injuries. So it means we do have a bunch of children. I'm going to quickly show you. This is Tyler Dibbling. He's not amazing, but he's 18 years old. He's got 14 finishing, so he could bring an option as maybe a false 9 if Adams is starting to struggle. Similarly, we've got Eric Dempsey. Again, not particularly amazing. He's maybe probably more suited to be on the left-hand side. I don't quite know with you guys, but what do we do here? It'd be an inverted inside forward is what we play. You might be able to do that job. Maybe a replacement for Brobby. Also, you've just come through our youth intake, by the way, which wasn't particularly great. There's a couple of decent ones, but no one special. And Theo Nweke, who I think is probably our best option to come off the bench, still only 16 years of age. He can come on in that midfield position, probably will come on for James Ward-Prowse when he inevitably plays badly once again. So we have the 2-1 lead. That is something that we need to try and keep hold of, but I hate playing defensively. I absolutely hate it. Real life, sure, go for it. If you've got a 2-1 lead and you want to hold on to it, that's fine. But this is a computer game, it's not real life. 15 minutes played, there's been one shot. It's not been a very good shot either. Livramento has the ball for us. Poor pass from Livramento. And now Sporting can come forward. Mateus Rees, the goal scorer from the last match. Marita back to Jerry St. Just? Is it Jerry St. Just? I'm not quite sure. Brobby has some space with the ball. Long range effort from Brobby. Over the bar, rustles the top of the net, but doesn't manage to find the back of it. And now Sporting with a chance from a long throw. Paulinho's managed to get past Walker-Peters. Controlled it well. Skins him as well. It's in towards Pedro Goncalves, and Goncalves makes it 2-2. And now, I don't know whether away goals are a thing. You should probably know this. If you watched me before, I never remember. Are away goals a thing? I'm assuming not. I don't think they've been a thing for about 3 or 4 years, but I have no idea. 25th minute, Sporting again with the ball. If we lose, this isn't the end of the world. I mean, yes, obviously we want to do well in Europe, but Sporting are a much better team than us. They're a much, much better team than us. We are probably still overachieving, even sat in 8th place in the table. Ward-Prowse to Lavia. Right-hand side, we've got Livramento with some space. It's a good ball as well from Shea Adams. 3 in the box. It's gone off for a corner? I think it's gone off for a corner. That was weird. Ward-Prowse to take it. Front post should be both of our centre-backs. It's not even a good corner from Ward-Prowse. You've got 20 corners, mate. You should be good at them every single time. Brobby, long-range effort over the bar once again. We're getting our shots away. They're just not very good. 5 minutes left of the first half. We've had 1 shot on target out of 13. Out of 13 shots. They've just recommended that I put on work the ball into the box, which I think I need to do that. We need to be better. We've been the better team. We have been the better team. That was stupid. I have turned on work the ball into the box to see whether it's going to make some of these 14 shots a little bit better. It might mean we don't get any more shots because they've got 7 defenders. We've now had 15 shots and an XG of barely 1. I mean, these shots must be appalling. If we're not getting any decent XG out of any of them, they must be absolutely horrific shots. It's time for a whole load of changes. And what do we do? Do we do Dempsey? Dempsey was the left winger. Right, we're doing this now. I don't know why I've decided we're doing this, but we're bringing on all the children. And Kasunu as well. Right, so 3 changes. Dempsey, Dibbling, and Kasunu coming on. Why have I done that? We're still in this match. This match is not over. This tie is certainly not dead. And now James Ward-Prowse is injured, so Nweke's coming on as well. I can't believe I'm doing that. That's a weird one, but we're going for it. Nweke's making his debut as well. We brought on all the under-18s. Walker-Peters then with a free kick towards Dempsey. He's nowhere near it. Neto collects it, plays it back to the keeper. Not the best clearance. Nweke, the future of Nigerian football. Back to Onyeka. Right-hand side is Livramento towards Lavia. Play it in the middle, please. Plays it back to Onyeka. Long-range effort. Adams is there. He's surely offside. If that goal counts, that is the most ridiculous goal I've ever seen. That's nuts. There is no way Adams planned any of that, because that was a shot from Onyeka. It has counted as well. So Lavia gets it, does something stupid. I don't know why he did that. Onyeka's first time shot, and Adams just calmly heads that ball in. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, that goal. We've equalised on the night. We've taken the lead on the overall tie. We've got seconds left to play. We're going to do a couple more changes. Lavia's coming off for Harry Winks. We're also going to do Livramento for John. Nope, we're just going to do one more then. Sure. So Winks is on for the final couple of minutes, but it should not matter. And we are going to go through to the round, I think it's the quarterfinals, isn't it? We go through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League at the first time of asking. Nweke gets a 6.8. He actually did pretty good in there. My worry is, what is this Ward-Prowse injury? 11 to 13 days. That's not ideal. That is not ideal. But realistically, are we going to miss him? Are we actually going to miss him? Yes, he's got 20 corners. Yes, he's got 20 free kicks. But he's been pretty bad as of late. A 6.93 over the season. A 7.29 in the Europa League somehow. Not quite sure how he's done that. Are we going to miss him? We probably will. And rather than waiting until next episode to find out who we're going to be playing in the next round of the Europa League, let's start the draw, shall we? So there is only, there are only 8 teams left. That's it. There's only 8 teams left, hosted by Dimitar Berbatov, because of course that's who I'd want to be hosting. I mean, I do like this, but I feel like if you're just playing it not for YouTube, I don't think you're ever going to use this function, because it does take a long time to get anything done. So, Newcastle, who will Eddie Howe's side play? Don't be me. I don't want Newcastle. Realistically, I want PSV. I think that's the team that I want. Well, this takes forever. Next team, please. We've got Newcastle. We've got Newcastle. Well, that's balls. You can also do this fancy little, comparison, match-up information. So, we've played each other 4 times so far in this save, I think, and we've won 2 apiece. You can see managers, captains, star players, things like that. I've got Wilfred and Ndidi, which is impressive. And current Premier League position is 8th versus 9th. I'm not excited. I'm not really excited about this game. We play Newcastle 2 times a season anyway. Oh, we do get to now see what's happening in the next round? Maybe? Oh, do we find out who's playing, what the semi-final is? So that's the ties. Atalanta, Arsenal, Bayer versus Marseille, PSV versus Parthenope or Napoli. And then we get the same thing again for the semi-finals. Right, we're just going to click advance. So we will be playing, it's going to be Arsenal, isn't it? Yep, Arsenal or Atalanta. Great. So we've gone all the way to a European competition to play a bunch of English teams. Well, next episode then, we are going to be playing Newcastle twice, aren't we? That's what we're going to do. We have kind of turned our form around slightly with the tweak in formation. We're going to obviously play it against Brighton, probably Man United as well, see how we go. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with some Europa League football against Newcastle. Fun times. See you next time. Now, we are nowhere near where we're supposed to be for today's episode. In fact, we haven't even played any matches after the sporting game, but we have got the Next Gen 2024 50 Best Wonderkids in Football, and we have Youssoufa Moukoko as number 1. Southampton's Youssoufa Moukoko as number 1. That's just nuts, isn't it? That's absolutely nuts. Considering he's been rubbish for half of the season, that's pretty impressive. Also, Paul Wanner is on that list, and we also have our new summer signing in the top 10 as well. If you haven't worked out by now, we're signing Endrick, okay? He's joining in the summer. Next season, we're going to have Moukoko and Endrick as our 2 strikers, which is why I've been trying to get a 2 striker formation going, because I want Endrick and Moukoko playing next to each other. That's going to be ridiculous. I'm also interested to find out who the Scottish Radamel Falcao is and the next Thorgan Hazard. Not Eden, Thorgan. Surely this is the next Thorgan Hazard. Does it actually say the next Thorgan? Yes, okay. The next Thorgan Hazard. That's weird. And the Scottish Radamel Falcao is Ethan Laidlaw. Does it say he's the Scottish Radamel Falcao? No, it doesn't. Okay. I mean, he looks pretty decent, doesn't he? On loan from Hibs. He actually does look quite tasty. Just having a look through at some of the new gens that are also on this list. This is number 50. It's interesting. I don't think it's that exciting, though. Anybody else who is a new gen on the list who we can take a look at? Yes, we have you playing for Antwerp. Doesn't look amazing. We also have George Caicedo for Millonarios, which this is an interesting one. I'm tempted to stick some money in here. The final one on the list we can't afford because he plays for Atletico Madrid is Ezekiel Wakwai, might be his name. Already played twice for the first team. He doesn't look amazing. I mean, he looks good, but he doesn't look amazing, does he? Anyway, we're now going to go forward then and play the Newcastle games. We're going to play the Newcastle games in the Europa League. Fun. Anyway, we are now ready for our Newcastle game. We've played Brighton off camera. We've beaten them. I think it was 2-1. I've already forgotten. I did it a while ago. There's a big gap between the last clip and this clip. Anyway, we won the game. That's all that matters. It's going to be Bazunu, Livramento, Howard Bellis, Salisu, and Walker-Peters in defence. Onyeka, Lavia, Ward-Prowse in midfield. Brobby, Adams and Moukoko leading the line. If I ask the assistant to pick, Moukoko doesn't get anywhere near the starting 11, and I don't know why. So Newcastle, obviously very, very good, and they've had a lot of investment. Gvardiol seems new, and Didi Milenkovic as well, all new. So it looks like they've actually got a brand new back four. We've only improved since the start of the game. Howard Bellis, Onyeka, Brobby, and Moukoko. That's it. Everyone else is original Southampton players. Newcastle have probably gone for a huge, huge amount of rotation. And 1 minute and 15 on the clock already. Newcastle have the ball. It's Vegas with it. I've never heard of Vegas. Is he somebody I should know of? Milenkovic to Guimaraes. And now Mateus, is it Nunes? I never know. When they have their squad names or their shirt names. I don't know. Alexander Isak scored. It's 1-0 after 1 minute and 40 seconds. Well, that's not really the start that we wanted, is it? It is already the first and only chance has ended up in the back of the net, and now we're, 20 minutes in, and nothing else has happened. Half an hour in, and still nothing has happened. We've had a couple of shots. Looks like Newcastle have had a couple of shots as well, but we've had literally no highlights other than the opener, and this is starting exactly the same way the opener did as well. St. Maximin to Bruno. Ball in towards Mateus in the middle. Left-hand side is St. Maximin once again. Tino's with him. Tino's chasing him down, but St. Maximin even gets past. Shot isn't the best, straight into the hands of Bazunu. About 30 seconds left to play the first half, and another highlight, but we have the ball deep in our own territory. Ward-Prowse loses out. That's a good tackle, but we've still not got the ball. Newcastle keeping hold of it on the right-hand side. Poor pass. Walker-Peters collects. Salisu. What are we doing? Why are we not just lumping it up the pitch? There we go. Towards Adams. Doesn't win the header. Ward-Prowse can nick that. Left-hand side was Brobby. The ball should have been Makoko. He does eventually get it into the penalty area. Goes for goal. Not the best effort. Nick Pope holds on to that one. Still not even at half-time. Onyeka with the ball. Still, again, deep in our half. Salisu's just gone for a big kick upfield. Vegas intercepts it. Bruno back to Wilfred Ndidi, playing as a centre-back, which... that's not his position, is it? He's more of a defensive midfielder. St. Maximin with it. Left-hand side is Josko Gvardiol. Lots of space. Doesn't use it. Instead goes all the way back to Vegas again. Ruben Neves to Bruno. Now Mateus. Right-hand side is Alvarez, who got the assist for the opener. Is he going to get himself a second? Walker-Peters does enough to slow him down. Brobby's trying to slow Milenkovic down. Livramento clears it. This highlights all over the place. I think there's a goal. Almost a goal. St. Maximin over the bar. So, half-time then, it is 1-0 to Newcastle, and we've not been very good. We've created very little. That team talk worked quite well. One thing I have noticed in between episodes is match ratings aren't right. They're not accurate at all. Yusufa Makoko won Young Player of the Month, or second place Player of the Month, and it said his average rating was a 7.38. I did the maths, and it was like a 6.7. I don't know what's going on. Mateus has the ball. Loud vehicle goes past. As always, you have to expect it now in one of my videos. In towards Isak in the middle. It's a good clearance from Harwood Bellis. Highlight isn't over, surely. It's not over. Makoko collects the ball. Brobby on the left-hand side. Needs some real support. Back towards Onyeka on the centre circle. Livramento with space. Through ball finds Adams. We need to get numbers in the box. We've got one man in the box. Livramento collects it. Plays it across to Makoko. Tries a little flick towards the goal. Doesn't manage to get it past Nick Pope. So we don't get players in the box. That's what I've just spotted from that tactic, or that highlight, sorry. We don't get players into the box. We're going to do a couple of changes. We're going to do Lavaja coming on. He's returned from his injury. He's still not 100% fit, but he's back. We're also going to take off Onyeka for Winks. This game is to be won. There is still time in this match for us to get at least an equaliser and ideally a winner. What was that throw from Livramento? That doesn't make sense. I've seen that a few times now in the match engine where we just throw it over all of our players straight to one of theirs. Gvardiol with the ball on the left-hand side and a yellow card. Ruben Neves with a yellow card. Vegas with a yellow card. Newcastle are a dirty team by the looks of it. Sorry for the continual breaks in highlights. I live on a main road and 3 ambulances have gone past my house during this one match. So, yeah, that's why it keeps stopping. Barclay's keeping that ball in on the right. 67th minute. Crosses it towards the back post. Isak is there. Straight over the bar. Livramento probably should have done something. We're getting the chances again. We've got an XG of 1. So have Newcastle. And we've not scored a goal. Ward-Prowse with a corner. Harwood Bellis is there. Doesn't bother jumping. And now... we've just let Isak chase that down and nobody's decided to follow him back apart from Harwood Bellis. So all the way back to Gvardiol. Final 10 minutes of the match. The highlights carrying on. St. Maximin's in on goal and that's going to surely go in. I thought Salisu was just going to tuck that into the bottom corner. St. Maximin with the corner for Newcastle then. Are they going to double their lead? We are away from home. Things we need to cling hope to. We're away from home. You'd expect us to lose a match away from home against a ridiculously good and very expensive Newcastle team. Willock, edge of the area, tries to get some space, weaving away. Highlight ends. Okay. Final couple of minutes of the match. I'm not going to bother doing any subs because at this point, we're not going to score. We're not going to get any highlights either. It's a 1-0 defeat and we should have scored a goal. We should have scored a goal. We didn't score a goal. Unlucky. Unlucky, boys. Brobby, not happy with your performance. Makoko, you let yourself down. Adams, you let yourself down. I'm not happy with you, I guess is what we'll say there. I mean, look at the match ratings. They're all over the place. Well, the one silver lining then, I guess, is no injuries. And also, we have still got one more match to play against Newcastle, and it's only 1-0. We're going to go forward now. We have Manchester United to play in the league. We're going to come back to the other side of that, ready for the Newcastle game, where we need to make sure that we win. Right, we played Man United, and we lost 5-0. Not only did we lose 5-0, we also picked up an injury to Salisu and Harry Winks, although Winks is only for a few days. Salisu is out for potentially up to 3 weeks, which is not ideal. It means it's going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood Bellis, Chaleta Sarr coming in for Salisu, and Walker Peters on the left-hand side. Onyeka Lavia will browse. Robbie Adams and Livaja leading the line today because Makoko, even though he's started scoring again, he's still not scoring again. He's not scoring anywhere near enough goals for my liking. Livaja has scored 13. He does get a lot of goals, but most of them seem to be off the bench. Also, Shea Adams has scored 8 goals since January. He's started to score goals all over the place, and I don't know why it took him so long, but he's starting to get back in the run of scoring goals and actually catching up. If he can get into double figures, that's 3 players with double figures for the season, and then all we need to do is work out to actually get them consistently scoring in games, not we'll win a game 3-0 and lose a game 3-0. Let's win 2 games 2-1, for example. That kind of thing. Let's try and go for that, shall we? Livaja loses out to Bruno. Willock collects it. 10 minutes on the clock on the south coast. Mateus Uribe. That's his name, Mateus Uribe. Milenkovic down the line. Brobby steals it. Brobby doesn't steal it. Brobby still hasn't got it. Brobby control the ball. Pass it to somebody. Or do that upfield towards Willock. Or Lavia. Great. It's working. It's working. It's not working. Matt Target intercepted it. And Didi to Milenkovic on the right-hand side, inside his own half, but just about. So far, this highlight's done nothing. No shots, no anything has happened in this highlight, and it's been about a minute. Bruno's ball forward, Isak's in on goal, probably one-on-one with the keeper. He is one-on-one with the keeper, and Isak makes it 1-0. Immediately, 10 minutes into the second match, it's 1-0 to Newcastle. About 2 minutes into the first match, it was 1-0 to Newcastle. Did we not listen for the whistle at the start of the game? 25 minutes now on the clock. Are we actually going to do anything? Looking at this map here, I don't even know what this is. Are we doing all of our attacks down the right-hand side? Is this our problem? Are we too predictable? They just try everything down one flank, whereas we just get found out every single time. Milenkovic with the ball to Uribe. What are you going to do? Backwards to Wilfred Ndidi. Now Bruno inside our half. We've got a minute and a half of normal time plus injury time. Willock doesn't get there. Harwood Bellis wins the headed effort. And now Adams collects. Right-hand side is Livramento. Needs to use his pace to get past Matt Target and just passes to Matt Target. It's not what we wanted, mate. It's really not what we wanted at all. The left-hand side now has left a huge, gaping hole for St. Maximin to go towards goal. Bazunu can stop that one. Right, we need to change this. We need to change you to be a wing-back on attack. I think you're far too far up the pitch. I think this is causing us some issues. Corner for Newcastle then. St. Maximin to take it. We've got 30 seconds plus a minute. Corner comes in, Livramento can clear that one, now playing in his new role as a wing-back on attack, rather than a complete wing-back on attack, which still might not be a good idea. It genuinely might not be a good idea. Thrash arms, terrible. Terrible performance so far. Livaja, come off. I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to sub him there. I don't think that's ever worked, has it? Livaja for Makoko. Straight swap. Let's go straight into the second half. Hopefully the youngster can do something. 60 minutes on the clock and nothing. Just absolutely nothing is happening at the moment in this match. Onyeka is not doing too well. He's fitness-wise, I mean. He's actually playing reasonably well. We're going to do Blanco coming on. Chaleta Sarr is rubbish, isn't he? He's never played well, so Kasunu's going to come on. Do we do anything else? Go away, Brian. They're also saying Walker Peters for Botta, so I think we'll do that one as well. We've got one more sub to do. I'm hoping we can get back into this game, but we are 2-0 down now. There's been no highlights in the second half. At all. We've not seen a single thing take place in the second half. Newcastle, I imagine, have shut up shop. Oh, marvellous. Kasunu's gone and got himself injured. So this is going to be our final sub then. So it's going to be Bella Kotchap coming on. That's literally nothing's happened. Maybe something's going to happen. We've got seconds left to play. Taylor Harwood Bellis has scored. Okay, well, we've got a goal back. We're just going to go very attacking for the final injury time that we are already well over the injury time. The full-time whistle goes. What? We saw none of this. We saw none of that action at all. There were no highlights until the Harwood Bellis goal. Looking at the match ratings, they weren't bad, were they? But Newcastle just scored a lucky goal early on in both games. I've just got an achievement saying they're neutral, and I don't know what that means. Okay, apparently it means I've retrained a player to be natural in a new position. I don't know what that player is and why it's come up after the match against Newcastle, but sure. Can we even find out? Is it going to tell us? I imagine it probably won't tell us at all. So, we're out of the Europa League. Kasunu is out for 10 weeks with a dislocated shoulder, or maybe 8 weeks now. Lavia is probably tired, so probably Brobby. We've picked up a bit of cash. Livramento suspended. Something's not working quite right, is it? I'm desperately trying to find out who I've retrained. Like, to be natural in their new position. I don't know who it's going to likely be. Is it going to be somebody like an Onyeka? Maybe? I mean, I'm training up to be a box-to-box midfielder, so probably not. The only one I'm really retraining somewhere else is Dujon Sterling as a left winger, and he's not able to do it. So I don't know why I got that achievement. Anyway, that is going to do it for what is most likely a very short episode. Next episode is going to be the final 2 games of the season. I don't think anything exciting is going to happen. We're probably going to finish maybe in Europe if we're lucky. Most likely where we are in the table right now, about 7th, 8th, 9th, that's probably where we're going to finish. So it's going to be Leeds and Liverpool in the final 2 games of the season. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back with the final episode of Season 2, ready for Season 3, and the new signing of Endrick, ready to join the club. Thanks for watching. With 2 games left to play of the season, the chance of European football hangs by a thread. We have to play Leeds United and Liverpool, who are currently chasing for the title. It's not looking great. In between episodes, we've played a fair amount of matches, losing the games you'd expect us to lose, winning the ones you'd expect us to win. So losing against Arsenal and Spurs, but beating Middlesbrough, beating Palace. Arguably, we should have beaten Aston Villa as well. That would have put us in a much better position. But unfortunately, we find ourselves sat here then, 8th place in the table. It is going to be a lower finish than last season. Maximum amount of points of 63, but our goal difference is -7. We have a leaky defence. In preparation for next season, we are changing up the formation to a 4-2-4 formation, where we're going to have Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood-Bellis, Salisu and Walker-Peters in defence, Lavia and Onyeka in midfield. Where's James Ward-Prowse, I hear you ask? He's missing the rest of the season because he's done his hip in, because apparently he's an old man. Aribo and Lavaja on the wings, Adams and Makoko leading the lines for this one. Next season, it is going to be Makoko and Endrick leading the lines, which is why we need to make sure that we understand this formation and it works. So Leeds, I think, haven't had a particularly great season. They're the wrong half of the table, but they're not massively far down it. I think they're like 12th or 13th, something like that. So it should be a winnable game. Should definitely be a winnable game, but it's not going to be the easiest of games. It is Marcos Alonso, apparently, with the ball. Reynaldo ball forward. Salisu heads down for Harwood-Bellis. Onyeka back to Salisu. 9 minutes on the clock. Lavia's going to get there first and does so. We're trying to pass our way through. We're still playing gegenpress football. So this is something that we've not shied away from our mentality, but our tactic, our formation, we have changed. And that effort goes wide. First chance goes to Leeds. And it's I thought it was a 0.0 XG shot then. Walker-Peters with a free kick for us. Salisu in the pouring rain in Yorkshire. Going to go for a run. Lavia. Right-hand side, it's Adams. Now Joe Aribo. Bit of space to run into. Livramento's off to his right, but he doesn't use him. Instead, it's gone all the way back to Meslier. It's Geertruida? I don't know how to say his name. I don't even know what I'm trying. Eddie Nketiah's probably going to get there first. He doesn't. That's good. Harwood-Bellis. Oh, my word. Lavia, what are you doing? Nketiah plays it across to Sinistera. It's flicked up into the air. Reynaldo, with a bit of space to run into, tries to get some space for himself. Bazunu can hold on to that one. So far, Leeds, they've not looked good. We've just looked bad. Jack Harrison with a free kick, 33 minutes. Salisu clears it. That's good. Now it's 2v2. Hold on. Lavia with the ball. The camera angle's going weird. Lavia across to Joe Aribo. Loads of blue shirts. Adams is one of them. He's got some blue shirts in the middle. Crosses it in. Lavaja on the volley, or the half volley maybe. And Marco Lavaja gets his 16th goal of the season. He has gone massively under the radar, by the way. He doesn't really play a huge amount starting matches, but he comes off the bench and seems to score a fair amount of goals. I think he's probably started maybe 15 games all season, and he's already on 16 goals. Almost at half-time. Are we going to double our lead? Livramento to Adams. He's got an option in front. He's going to go for a run instead now. Finds Aribo. Doesn't find Aribo, but he should hopefully get there first, and he does. Joe Aribo to Shea Adams in the area. Crosses it to Lavaja at the back. Doesn't get the headed effort away. It's cleared, but we're going to get it back forward. Onyeka dinks it over the top. Lavaja again on the volley, but this time straight into the hands of the keeper. If everything stays this way, we'll move up into 7th place into a European spot. Things are going well. That didn't really do too much, so we'll just click this one and hope for the best. Now, I'm not sure whether 8th place will also get European football. I don't know who's going to be in the FA Cup final, but I imagine if it's two teams who are already getting European football, then 8th place will also get it. Harrison's in on goal. It's a good block from Walker-Peters into Harrison as well, and we win a goal kick. Just over an hour played, and we're going to do a couple of changes. Livarge is going to move up front. We're going to take off Makoko and bring on Smallbone, I think, on the left-hand side. Will Smallbone, by the way, is surprisingly good. He's actually pretty decent. Doesn't get a huge amount of football for us. We're also going to take off, I think we're going to do Onyeka for Winks. That's more because we've got both of our central midfielders on a yellow card. Much like the last episode, the second half of this match is literally having no highlights, is it? Absolutely nothing has gone on in the second half, which means Taylor Harwood-Bellis is going to score a goal in about 10 minutes' time. Nothing at all. What's happened? We've had no highlights. Are we going to get one just before the full-time whistle goes? No, we're not. It is going to be a 1-0 win against Leeds. That is the end of their season at home. Again, lots of stuff seemed to have happened, but we didn't see any of it. So, 7th place currently. However, the big elephant in the room is the fact that we play Liverpool in the final game of the season, and they are still in a title fight, sort of. If Man City win their game on 36, you'd argue Man City are probably going to be picking up the trophy. However, Liverpool are still in this fight, and we don't want to play against a fighting Liverpool team. What are Brentford doing in the final game of the season as well? They've got Spurs. They've got a Spurs team who are currently 14th place in the table. Spurs are rubbish. It's the Thursday morning before the final games of the season, which is on the Saturday or maybe Sunday. Manchester United have just lost 4-0 against Manchester City, and Man City have been crowned champions because of it. I thought I'd tell you that because it's obviously funny that United losing means City become champions again, but also the fact that now Liverpool are 6 points behind Man City. They cannot catch up with them. It means Liverpool have nothing to play for, which is kind of good because it means we might actually have a chance of beating them if they play a bunch of children. Right then, for the final game of the season, we are going back to our asymmetric formation because I kind of liked it. It seemed to work. It's going to be Bazunu in goal, Livramento, Harwood-Bellis, Salisu and Walker-Peters in defence, Diallo, Harry Winks and Onyeka in midfield, Brobby, Livarge and Makoku leading the line for this one. Sub-bench is kind of what you'd normally expect. I was toying with the idea of putting some kids on there, but we still need to win this game if we want to get European football next season. So, Liverpool have not gone for a weakened side, even though there's nothing on the line for them. They have finished second. There is nothing ever going to change with that, but they are going for a full-strength side. We've got an early chance. Winks' free kick towards Livarge is cleared, and now a counter-attack is on for Liverpool. What happened? Why did both of our centre-backs run forward past the on-rushing Diogo Jota? I don't know what happened. Elliott's got the ball, long-range effort from Harvey Elliott, well over the bar. Not a good effort, but the defence stepping up when they were coming towards us, that's alarm bells. We've got another chance through a corner. Winks is the man to take it. Front post is Harwood-Bellis. It's towards Brobby, of all people. Harwood-Bellis is there and he's hit the post. Oh my word, we should have taken the lead as well. Diallo's pass finds Walker-Peters. Is this still going on? It isn't going on. We should have taken the lead. Sepp van der Berg. I say they're playing a full-strength side. They're playing Sepp van der Berg. So maybe it's not full strength. There's no Virgil van Dijk in their starting 11. Sepp van der Berg has replaced him. Takes his time on the ball, though. Finds this man. I can never say his name. Tsimikas? Could be his name. Probably isn't how it's pronounced. Vandenberg to Kanate. Jota with the ball goes off to the right-hand side. Harvey Elliott through ball past to Salah. And that is a spectacular block from Tino Livramento. Brentford have taken the lead against Spurs as well. So it is not over. Spurs have equalised. Hold on. Is there a lot of goals going on in that game and I'm not paying attention to it? It's 1-1 Spurs-Brentford then. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the ball to Elliott. Hits the inside of the post and Taylor Harwood-Bellis clears. So if it stays 0-0 here and it stays 1-1 in the Spurs game, we will still finish in 7th place. It's a headed clearance from Van der Berg. Winks gets the ball back though on the right-hand side. Not the best touch. Loses out to Salah and a counter-attack for Liverpool is now on down the left-hand side. Salah to Jota, back to Salah. Through ball, Walker-Peters is going to get there first. And now maybe we can counter? Possibly, guys. What are we doing? Passing it around between our defenders and our goalkeeper, apparently. Gone for a big kick up towards Brobby, who's chested it down to Sepp van der Berg. The decision-making on some of these players must be like minus figures at the moment. What was the idea? First of all, chesting it down was just ballsy. And then to one of their players was just dumb, wasn't it? Trent threw ball to Elliott and the flag goes up. I think he was offside. We're getting VAR. We've not had VAR for a while, I don't think. The goal is disallowed. That is good. Harvey Elliott frayed fractionally offside. I almost said those words right, didn't I? Corner for Elliott. Elliott seems to be very good in this year's FM. Konate heads over the bar. It's going to be a goal kick. Harvey Elliott seems to be very, very good whenever I play against him. I don't know if it's whether he's just good in the game or the match engine or whatever, but Elliott is very good. Half-time at St Mary's then. It is 0-0 so far. It's been, I'd say, a fairly entertaining game, right? I'm going to say I'm not happy because it's motivating people. That's what we want to see. Diallo's on a 6.4. Not sure what's going on with you. Harwood Bellis is on a 6.5, 6.6. Both of them have got yellow cards. Does that affect their rating? I don't know. I thought that went in then. Konate goes over the bar. Bazunu looked like he just wanted it to see whether it went in. 60 minutes have now passed. We're going to do a couple of changes. Makoku's coming off for his final appearance as a loanee, and he's going to be replaced by Nathan Teller. We're also going to do a Rebo coming on the left-hand side for Brobby. Do we take Diallo off as well? Yes, we do. Ryan Yates can come on. Both teams are matching each other shot for shot and XG for XG at the moment. It's 1.3 apiece, but it is still 0-0. Harvey Elliott with a free kick, 75th minute, left-footed towards Konate at the back post. It's blocked, possibly by Nunes, and Naby Keita is there to just blast it into the back of the net. 75 minutes played, Liverpool take the lead, and this could be a bad thing. We might drop down to 8th place. Salisu with the ball inside our own penalty area. Walker-Peters is going to go for a run, because he's got loads of space to run into as well. Keeps going down the line. Joe Aribo collects it. The sub to Teller. Back towards Aribo, but it was not the best pass. And Liverpool are playing children. Livramento has controlled this. Long-range effort from Tino Livramento. And if that just dipped in under the bar, that would have been a superb goal. Harry Winks with a corner towards Harwood Bellis and Taylor. Harwood Bellis is there. We've equalised with just over 10 minutes to play. Once we get these corners working, they do seem to work quite well. Harwood Bellis has scored a couple from corners now. Obviously, players like Salisu, Bella Kotchap and so on have scored goals from corners as well. So it does work. Brentford have moved up into 7th place again. No, they haven't. We've gone up into 7th place because Spurs are beating Brentford. This is nerve-wracking to get a place in the Europa Conference League, a competition that arguably we don't really want to be in. Salisu with the ball to Walker-Peters. Again, loads of space to run into and a shocking pass. Under no pressure at all, just passes it straight to a Liverpool man. Salisu clears it though. Joe Aribo, lovely control, lumps it upfield towards Livaja. Doesn't really go for the headed effort. Livramento gets past his man, that is good to see. The youngster can go down the right, stops and holds it up. Well done. Well done, Tino. Now Winks. Winks, what are you doing? Steve, don't lose the ball in the middle of the pitch like that. And now Elliott, through ball to Darwin Nunes. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. Bazoon not going to do anything about it. And Liverpool take the lead. The flag's gone up. I don't think he was offside, was he? He was offside. When? Where? Who? How? Where was he offside? I mean, I don't think the lines are right there. The lines were definitely not right. I'm fine with it, because it's gone my way, but the lines were definitely not right. Right, frustratingly, Livaja has picked up an injury, so what do we even do here? Don't question me. We're going Joe Aribo up front. Will Smallbone can come on as a left winger. We've got one more change to do. And actually, you know what? It's not even going to be Smallbone. It's going to be Dujon Sterling, a player who I've been determined to be a left winger throughout this entire time, or this entire season. I've been training him up there, and he's slowly getting better. 6 minutes of injury time to play. It's all disappeared. We have done what we could do. A 1-1 draw against Liverpool. Actually not a terrible result at all. Potentially should have scored more, but then again, so should Liverpool. Harwood Bellis with the headed effort saving the day. And it looks like Spurs have done us a favour. Yes, they have. Harry Kane in the 83rd minute means we do finish 7th place in the table. We're going on another European adventure next season, although it is only the Europa Conference League, but still finishing 5th and then 7th in our first 2 seasons. Next year, 6th place, let's average it out. Let's take a quick look at the end of season review and just point out anything that's of interest, really. Signing of the season then goes to Brian Brobby, of all people. Fair enough, I'm sure. I mean, it's a good signing, isn't it? A C- though. What? So is the signing of the season, who decides that? Who decides that? Because it's clearly not the board. Livaja was a very good signing as well. For 10.5 million, I thought it might have been too steep. but to get 16 goals and 6 assists actually seems to have paid off quite well. Ryan Yates was expensive, but I brought him in as a backup. That was the reason why he came in. Frabotta didn't play a lot of money, but he was cheap. Although, he's getting paid a lot apparently. I'm not sure how much he's getting paid. I don't care about wages, that's somebody else's job. Moukoko, obviously 39 starts, 11 off the bench, 22 goals, didn't get a single assist, the greedy bugger. He is going to be joining on a permanent deal in the summer. We did a fair amount of transfer business actually this season. Taylor Harwood-Bellis as well. I think that is a good signing. Harry Winks for 700k. That's a good signing as well. Kasuna was probably a little bit too much money, but we've got some players for the future, some players for the present as well. And obviously, we do have another transfer window to go between this season and next season. So maybe there's going to be some interesting business taking place as well. Overall, I think we did have a pretty decent season, finishing 7th in the league, getting to the Europa League quarter-finals, getting knocked out by Newcastle even, getting to the FA Cup 3rd round, 5th round, that's what it is, 3rd, 4th, 5th, losing against Blackpool, or drawing with Blackpool, sorry, not ideal. Carabao Cup losing against Leicester, because we always lose against Leicester. Moments to remember, so beating Morecambe 5-1 in the FA Cup, 3 for Lavaja, 2 for Shea Adams. Match to remember, beating Augsburg 4-1 in the Europa League. Our first Europa League game in the save. And then goal of the season is Frank Onyeka. And annoyingly, I can't click on it. I would love to be able to click somewhere here to watch it. I'm sure you used to be able to click here and it will show you. But you scored a daisy cutter from 22 metres away, apparently. There's some financial figures, just in case you're interested. The good news, everything is in the green, so everything is on the up. Club awards. What have we got then? Lavia, young player and fans player of the season. Brobby, we know, signing of the season, goal of the season, we know. Moukoko, 22 goals, 14 assists for Ward-Prowse. I feel like that's gone under the radar as well. I feel like he hasn't had that many assists at all, but here we are. Moukoko with 8 man of the match awards. Lavia, highest average rating of a 7.1. That seems pretty high as well. We've also got most assists. We know these things. Carl Walker-Peters loves a yellow card and a red one, apparently. And Eric Dempsey, at 16 years old and 124 days, is our youngest player. And Yusufa Moukoko, obviously, winning the Next Gen award as well, which, that's ridiculous. We've signed the best young player in the world. Literally the best young player in the world. So even though we didn't win any trophies, it's come up saying history in the making, because we've overachieved, I guess. The spell of football in the middle of the season was the making of Southampton. That's when we were the worst. We lost like 7 or 8 games. That was ridiculous. Whatever. Fair enough. And Southampton have been brilliant since turning it on in the middle of the season. That's not when we turned it on. That's when we turned it off. And we've got the dynamic timeline once again, which I imagine all of this doesn't change. It doesn't look like it changes. So we then have, I think, the new stuff from here, isn't it? So signing Brian Brobby, top signing 10 million on Jonas Omlin as well. But that was the first season, wasn't it? Oh, no, that says he was runner-up in signing of the season. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. We signed Dujon Sterling. We then signed in the summer Taylor Harwood-Bellis for 3 million, potentially rising to 6. Blanco as well, investing in potential with Paul Wanner, investing in potential again with more Paul Wanner. That's not right. And then signing Blanco, which we've already mentioned. A bit odd, it's all over the place. Completing the signing of Yusufa Moukoko as well. And then, what does this say? Putting aside all the tired old cliches about having the world at his feet, winning the Next Gen was a good way as any to get everyone to notice Yusufa Moukoko. Fair enough. And we have qualified for the Europa Conference League. This could be more exciting. Some of the things there, I don't think are particularly exciting bits of business, are they? You've not mentioned the fact that we've agreed a deal to sign Endrick, which I would say is more important than telling us about Antonio Blanco twice and Paul Wanner twice. Supporter profile, has anything new been added? I don't think it has really. It's basically if we play Portsmouth, beat them. If we play Bournemouth, beat them. Otherwise, kids, play the kids, score goals, entertaining football, score from corners and free kicks and what have you. We've picked up 700,000 social media followers, and this is really helpful to know, but I don't know what the number was originally. So it's gone to 30%. It's gone up to 30. So it's anywhere between 24. Actually, it could be anywhere, couldn't it? It could be absolutely anywhere. I don't know how much that's gone up by and the fair weather has gone down by, but whatever. That is going to do it then for this season, and next season we welcome in the Wonderkid Endrick to our squad. I don't know whether he's going to be good. He's not good enough now to play, but I am going to force play him because obviously he is going to get better. By the time he joins us, he will be 18 years of age as well, because that's as soon as we can sign him when he's 18 years old. So Endrick will be joining, so will Yusufa Makoko as well. We've got a very good young side. We do need to sort out our defence because obviously we know we let in a lot of goals this season. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching Season 2 of Football Manager 2023 with Southampton. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll be back next time with the third and final season of the Beta Save with Southampton, with Yusufa Makoko, and with Endrick. Thanks for watching.